For local sports in the afternoon, it's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
24 hours ago. Kyle Draper and I sat right here at Golden One Center, getting ready for the Kings' first game of New Year, full of anticipation and hope. And you sitting right where you're sitting right now, Kyle, as you know, I'm sure you remember, you said, it was just about 24 hours ago exactly, you said, I want off the roller coaster. Remember that?
I did say that.
Yes. Off the roller coaster. Well, you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave because we're back on the roller coaster after last night. Wow.
I'm not on the roller coaster. I'm actually feeling A-okay about my Sacramento Kings team. Because here's the problem, and we'll talk about this over the next 3.5 hours. I understand Kings fans, you're frustrated. Bad loss yesterday. But if I'm correct, did they lose last year to Charlotte at home? Here at Golden One Center?
Okay.
Bad loss, right?
Yeah.
Last year was the best season in the last 20. We were sunshine and rainbows and lollipops and everything was okay. Now all of a sudden you have some bad losses and what's going on with this team? This is unacceptable and all that. But hold on. Last year at this time, we were ready to erect the statue of Mike Brown. Last year at this time, Sacramento, it was like the 60s and 70s. We were power children in the street. People were just, la. It's so great to be a Kings fan. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to jump off the cliff. Everybody wants to make straight plays and changes. I'm not doing that. We're okay. It's a bad loss, yes. But I trust me. I can go down probably 25 teams in the NBA, 26 teams in the NBA who have had bad losses. Charlotte, they won a couple of games. It's not like they were 0-30 coming in. What's the name? Lost 27, 28 in a row. Detroit. And they beat Toronto. I mean, it happens. And so I'm done with the rest. Okay. If you want to live your life like that, you go for it. If you want to ride or die up and down with this team, go for it. But I'm mental health. It's mental health where this night is. My mental health, I got to protect it. I can't be going up and down. I just can't do it anymore.
The last 44 seconds of the game last night, honestly, I think were 44 of the worst seconds the Kings have had since the Kings Sacramento. Honestly, they had a little game like that. I was sitting there next to Chris last night, you're doing your T stuff, and I'm thinking, this is really bad, but if you win, you win. It's okay. And it looked like they were going to, and then the last 44 seconds, total meltdown. So that's hard to take, especially win. And I understand everything you said about, hey, last year was great, last year. But when Mike Brown after the game says, he used the word alarming, or actually reached down the stretch or the convergence on both sides of the ball was alarming, wasn't good. The coach used the word alarming. So he can be on a roller coaster or not, whether we are or not. I think I've got to look at this team and say, something needs to be addressed. That needs to be addressed.
But something needed to be addressed before last night's game. Like just because you beat Memphis and Atlanta, everything's all great and fine and everything. Like the Kings are who they were 24 hours ago. Nothing has changed in my mind about this team. Are they a championship contender? No, not right now. If they would have beat Charlotte last night, would I have said anything differently? No. So if they beat Orlando tonight, are we going to say everything's fine and dandy? All is right in order. Orlando's a good team right now. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to just react, every game like this. I can't do it. I can't. I was on with Matt Barnes last night on the post-game show, and we talked about Mike Brown's reaction. If you're Mike Brown, either you're yelling and screaming at your team, or you're taking the approach like guys. Having a real talk with them. Keeping the evil, and that's where I'm at now. I blew up the spot a week or two ago when they lost to Portland and they lost to Boston. I can't do that after the bad loss. That's all I'm saying. I can't do that after. I got to keep things in perspective. Right now, the Sacramento Kings are in 5th place in the Western Conference.
They're closer to,
but you can say that about Clippers, Pelicans, Dallas, Phoenix, Lakers, Golden State. That's what I'm saying. Like, you outside of Minnesota, OKC, and Denver, it's a crapshoot. The Kings are where we thought they'd be at this point.
I just think that if you want to be competitive in the West and you want to take advantage of the opportunities that are there, then a game like last night it's not a must win, because to your point, it's like they got another game tonight. Darren Fox said we have another game tonight, but it's really important to take advantage of those very winnable games against. I know you know all this, so I'm not telling you don't know. But you guys in the last week, you got 2 losses to bad teams that are short-handed. That's you can get upset, emotional about it or not. If you're going to be rational about it, still, I think you got to say, well, that's not ideal, right? I mean,
no, it's definitely not ideal. But was it ideal last year? And they still won 48 games. And they still pushed Golden State to a game 7.
Were they as inconsistent last year as they are this year?
No, I don't think so. No, but what's their record? Is their record better right now than it was a season ago, if I'm correct? So that's what I'm saying. Like, sure, the losses are bad, but they also beat OKC twice. Can we give them credit for that? They beat Denver. They did. They beat Minnesota at Minnesota. So they have good wins, and they got bad losses. I understand as a fan, we're upset. But now if they beat Orlando, is everything fine? Like, my problem is, and I'm guilty of this just like anybody else, but I'm trying to keep it even keel now. The swings, it's not just a roller coaster. One day, we're Western Conference Finals contenders. The next day, we need to make a big trade and go to this action. We can't live like that, Sacramento Kings fans. See, we still got 50 games left to go in the season. If we don't react like this to every bad loss, where's the problem? We're not going to make our mental health and emotional health. It's not going to be good. Like, I would have enjoyed this season. I don't want to. Here's the problem, Whitey. Here's the problem. In today's day and age, when a team does bad or good, first thing I do, we do, people do, run social media. And first of all, I shouldn't do that. When the Kings lose, I should turn on social media, because I'm looking at some of these accounts that a lot of you out there follow, and it's some of the most asinine stuff I've seen. And so I'm not going to be a part of that anymore, right? I'm not going to be one minute, you know what, we're the greatest team in the world, the next minute, Mike Brown can't coach. Because that's what's happening out there in the world right now. We can't allow that. It was a bad loss, yes, but there's plenty of time left in the season.
Yeah, but the problem is, while all that is for the most part true, the Kings and Kings fans have higher expectations this year. And every time they start to look like they've made progress over last year, record notwithstanding, because there's other ways you can try to improve besides the record compared to last year. Every time it looks like, wow, all right, they figured some things out. Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what was that? I mean, that's, I know you know it, and I understand what you're saying, but that was a really bad loss last night after 2 impressive wins. So that's the problem. Well, wait, that's why we go on the roller coaster, because Kings fans are ready to, all right, here we go, another winning streak like last year. We're going to take off. And instead it's like, oh, where did that come from at home? When you're an opportunity here, a part of the schedule, to take advantage of very winnable games, and they didn't win. I know you know this. They looked bad last night. They looked flat. They looked uninspired. It was, in the words of the coach, alarming. And as a fan, maybe you don't get upset, but it's at the very least confusing.
This team is consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I think we said it a couple of weeks ago. I think we said it last month. Like, this is what it's going to be with the Sacramento Kings. And so we can either react to it like that every game and go to the road, or we can say, you know what? I need to wait and see when all 82 is settled, the dust is settled, Whitey, and they're the 6th seed, and they're a game behind the Pelicans, then I can look back, dang, that January 2nd loss against Charlotte, we should have had that one. We could have been in the top 4 seed. But I need to see it play out. Like I said, I'm looking at the NBA standings right now. Sacramento's, let me do the math, 3.5 games out of the 3rd spot, 4 games out of the 2nd spot. Now, conversely, like you said earlier, they're 3.5 games on being out of the play-in tournament, the 11th spot. And so, yeah, but I'm letting it all play out. Because just like this team has some bad losses, Portland, last night, Pelicans, whatever you want to bring up, they can go on a run also. And so if they beat Orlando tonight, if they beat Toronto Friday, if they beat the Pelicans on Sunday and go 3-1 on this homestand, I think we would take that. I think we'd be okay with that. And yes, it was a bad loss. But we also sat on this show yesterday and said Charlotte has NBA players as well. Bridges can get buckets. PJ Washington dropped 38 last year against us. We know Terry Rozier has started on playoff teams in Boston before, scored big points in playoffs before. I know what he's capable of. And so, as much as we're frustrated right now by what we saw from the Sacramento Kings, I get it. It's just one game. Here's Aaron Fox after this. Are we going to take Aaron Fox down? Sure. We're going to have to get Aaron Fox down for later. Because Aaron Fox was asked yesterday about, how long do you think about this? Right. He had an interesting answer. We'll get into that.
I wasn't crazy about the answer.
I know. I went on that.
Here's right. Pardon me. But yeah, what you said. Are they the team that destroyed Memphis, or are they the team that we saw last night? The answer is yes. That's who they are. And until unless they make a change, that's where it's going to be. I know that I'm a little disappointed because I thought that perhaps some of the changes they made in the rotation, in the lineup, in the last couple of games, maybe that will address that. Maybe they will not be as inconsistent, but they still were. So it's frustrating when you want to see this team take off and improve on what they did last year. Really bad loss last night.
Yeah, and I hear you, and I understand that. But one thing we got to remember about an NBA season, it's a journey. It's not how you are on January 3rd is not how you'll be April 4th or something. You know what I mean? It's going to be some peaks and valleys, some ups and downs. Ultimately, it's about being your best when it matters the most. And the Kings still have tons of time to straighten things out. I actually thought the starting lineup was A-OK yesterday. The starting lineup was not the problem. So don't come at me with Chris Duarte nonsense today, Kings fans. What happened was the bench unit came in and fumbled the bag. We're going to talk about that, of course, coming up in just a little bit. Am I frustrated? Yes. But I know they have an opportunity to right yesterday's wrong by coming out and handling business tonight.
One of the big problems here, and we'll take a quick time out. We got Drake takes coming up. Last year, long story short, last year the 5 starters were really rock solid. Keegan, his rookie year, made more threes than any rookie ever. He had Fox, he had Sabonis, and they were all league. They had Herder last year, was rock solid, and Harrison Barnes last year was rock solid. Those two guys, they've fallen off a little bit. It happens. They're nowhere near as consistent as they were last year. And no one really, there's been a little Fox's improved. There's been improvement here or there, but the team is struggling to be as consistent, especially with the starting lineup as they were last year. And nobody got from the bench has really stepped up. So it's hard for the team to be better than they were last year. They're still looking for those answers.
Yeah, they're still looking for some answers. Still some question marks regarding this squad. Obviously, you would hope that wouldn't be the case. But you bring in some new pieces. Some guys haven't worked out yet. To your point, some guys have regressed. Yeah, what they did last season, and that's an issue. But that was an issue before last night. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. What happened last night does not change my mind one way or the other about what needs to be done, what moves needs to be made, or anything like that. They are who they are. Why are we an inconsistent team right now?
And I think bottom line for a lot of Kings fans, they hope that, the team's been inconsistent, but still, this team's good enough to beat Charlotte, even on an off night they should beat Charlotte. Didn't happen, so onward. And hopefully upward against Orlando. And we got great takes after whatever that was last night. Right back to those in the gold one center. Next,
Can Mike Brown build on last season's
People complaining about the audio, Jay. I'm not sure what's up.
48 wins.
We will be prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Thanks for being with us. For those of you with us on YouTube, I know there was a problem, but I think we have it fixed. No more echo.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So, yeah, sorry about that. We got that. We got that squared away as we get ready for the Kings in Orlando tonight. I'm looking forward to this game because I haven't seen Orlando play a lot, and they're a fun team.
They are. They're a fun team. They're better defensively than people think. They're a top 5 defensive team as well. They got some length. You know, with Franz Wagner, you got Paolo Banchero. They got some toughness at the guard position. So this is going to be an interesting matchup tonight. And exciting. They're 19-13, I think it is, or 19-14, something like that. And the Kings are 19-13. So it's going to be a tough test tonight.
They sure got a lot of lottery picks on that roster, huh?
Right. You know, and they've seemed to hit on them. I mean, you look at, obviously, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. I like Jalen Suggs. He sort of brings the toughness. We won't see Markelle Fultz tonight, but when Markelle Fultz has been playing in Orlando, he's been really solid for them. They got Anthony Black, a young rookie, didn't have a good game last night against Golden State, but he's been solid. Cole Anthony off the bench has, you know, he's in that 6th man of the year conversation. And then Jamal Mosley, the head coach, one of the best young coaches out there. And so this should be a fun game tonight to watch. More enjoyable. Last night was kind of a slog fest. You know, it never felt good, really. You know, we had the lead and, you know, it was okay, but you never felt like you were being entertained. I think you'll be entertained tonight.
I think you'll be entertained right now. Buckle up. It's time for Drape's Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Kings fans, I've had about, 30 hours to sit on this one to digest what took place last night.
Tell us.
First of all, my first takeaway from last night is the Sacramento Kings are at times too cool. And let me explain what I mean by too cool. They think they're the Denver Nuggets. They think they're the Boston Celtics. They think they're the Minnesota Timberwolves. They think they're OKC, that they can just show up and you know what? We're going to win this game because we're the Sacramento Kings. You haven't reached that level yet. And that's what happened last night. It was a glorified scrimmage out there. You know what? You let another team, Charlotte, get comfortable. We've seen it before. We saw it last week in Portland. I said this before on this show, Whitey, and I'm going to say it again. And this is for everybody out there. Kings fans, young basketball players, people in your job, whatever. Rick Pitino used to say you got to have your PhD. You got to remain poor, hungry, and driven. And I don't see that from the Sacramento Kings. It feels like they get on a nice couple of game win streak, and then they start feeling good about themselves, believe in their press clippings, and then they relax. They don't seem hungry at times, at least last night. They don't seem driven at times. Is that a coach problem? Is that a player problem? I don't know. But if this team is going to make a deep run in the postseason, they got to fix it. They got to have their PhD. They got to act like they have not accomplished a single thing yet, and we haven't seen it. They got to stay poor, hungry, and driven, Whitey.
Yeah, I think sometimes a lot of that has to do with a lack of athleticism. If the other team is longer, stronger, faster than you, sometimes it looks like you're not trying. I think that may be part of what's going on at times with the Kings, but we may know more about that tonight.
All right, second Drape's tape, and it's going to the bench. I thought the starters were fine. I understand Harrison Barnes only had 3 points, only took 2 shots in 23 minutes. We can have the Harrison Barnes discussion day in and day out. It's going to be like the season.
You'd love
it's gonna
that,
be
wouldn't you?
No, it's going to be a roller coaster. I'm done having the Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes could go 0 for 0 with zeros across the board. I don't care. But I need Malik Monk to be better than what he was last night, 6 points. I need, more from Kevin Huerter off the bench. Like I said at the beginning of the season, I thought this bench had the potential to be the best bench in the entire NBA. It has not shaped up to be that way. In fact, the team we'll see tonight, the Orlando Magic, I believe, in terms of scoring, has the best bench in the association. And so that's where I thought last year we also had an advantage. Our starters were great, but we had a guy like Terrence Davis who would come in maybe once every 20 games. But, man, when he came in and played well, he could get you 20 or 30 points. Outside of Malik Monk and maybe Trey Lyles as of late, our bench right now is kind of thin. Like, hopefully Kevin Huerter can develop into that guy, but we need more firepower off the bench.
Yeah, Mike Brown was unhappy last night, not only with the results he was getting from the guys off the bench, but the way they were playing, very casual. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. He was talking about underhand passes.
Yeah.
But, it's still an issue with this team. Fox isn't on the floor. They struggle.
We both aren't big plus-minus guys, right?
Not in
overall,
game. Sure.
Overall in the long.
Yeah.
Malik Monk, a minus 21 last night.
Not great.
Like, by far the worst on the team. Second worst, Keegan Murray, a minus 8.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that we're not plus-minus people, but looking at that's jarring to me because Malik has been fantastic this season. Last night, not a good night for Malik Monk. My third and final Drapes take. I know I've been tough on this guy. I know I've been difficult on him. I've been hard on him. Everybody wants to go out there and make a trade. Go get Pascal. Go get Zach. The answer to our issues is right here, and he's our number 4 overall pick, Keegan Murray. I need Keegan to be better. I just need him to be better. If we're talking about getting to where we want to go, Kings fans, Monty can make moves. Mike Brown can shake up the lineup. But we talk about Harrison Barnes. We talk about Kevin Huerter. He has been sort of up and down as well. And so I need some consistency from him. I know it's tough. Second-year player, coming in with Domas and Fox. They're the, veterans. It's their team. But, man, if Keegan could be more consistent, give me 15, 16, 17, 18 to 20 every single night. Mark it down. And don't tell me Drapes, well, he's averaging 15 points. You know what an average is. If I score 31 game and 0 the second game, what's my points per game, Whitey? 15 points per game.
Yeah.
Does that mean exactly? I need Keegan to be more consistent. He's our answer. That's the guy. He is our answer. That's why we're not going to make any major moves at the trade deadline because of our belief in Keegan Murray.
I think you're right. I think, it's not just opinion. I think that's clearly the way they have this all set up. I think that's one of the points that Jay was making yesterday when we talked about Keegan. Can I add one more? May I do a bonus take?
No, but you can't call it a Drapes take, though. You got to call it
Whitey's wondering.
Right? All right, what you got?
I'm wondering why the Kings can't make a free throw.
That's a great question.
10 of 17 last night. You look at the NBA free throw stats.
Yeah.
They're last in the NBA. This is supposed to be a good shooting team, right?
It was an issue to start last season as well. And I don't get it. I understand De'Aaron Fox. He's at 73%, I think, this season so far. But the dude is shooting the three impeccably. You would think,
right,
all right, get it up to 78. And then Domantas Sabonis. Where's he been at from the free throw line?
I don't know about you. That's one of the things I look at with a young player. Is he a good shooter? Well, let's see. How does he shoot his free throws, or she? Typically, they're a good foul shooter. They could be a good shooter.
Yeah.
And the Kings, bad foul shooting. Really bad.
Yeah.
Last in the league. And last night, that was a very close game. Free throws vitally important. I know Mike Brown mentioned it. It's a puzzler. He was upset because that's one of those controllables, as he said it. You can control how many free throws you make, and the Kings are not making enough.
They're not making. 58.8% last night. You hit 5 more of those. You go 15 of 17. Then you're talking a 111, 109 game. It could go anywhere down the stretch. And you're right about that. Their free throws got to improve. I do want to go back to Keegan Murray, and I want to have this discussion. And I just remembered this. Matt Barnes on the post-game show said regarding Keegan Murray, we're asking so much of him on the defensive end that it's taken away offensively. But he says it's a conditioning issue. Not that Keegan's in bad shape or anything like that, but to be an elite two-way player, you got to be not in just great, you got to be in the best condition of your life. And so, that's one issue that Matt Barnes brought up yesterday. And I hadn't thought about that. It's like he's expending so much energy on one end that if he gets more in better condition, then he can be a Klay Thompson in his heyday, how Klay Thompson was. Especially, Matt was saying, because you're a perimeter player, and you're running around, you use your legs on jump shots and all that. And I'm not saying it's an issue, but could that be the reason that Keegan is having some ups and downs?
Obviously, this isn't something Keegan has said. It's something Matt Barnes is saying about him. But we've heard Davion Mitchell talk about that. We've heard Herter talk about that. I don't remember any team ever in my memory, obviously, talking about that. Well, it's hard to play offense when we're playing so hard on defense, and it's a recurring theme with this team for some reason. That's curious.
It's and maybe it's a case of this team having to learn what it takes to be a champion.
Yeah.
What worked in the past, what worked even last year, that's not going to be good enough this year.
Not if you want to get better.
If you want to get better, exactly. And kudos to De'Aaron Fox. He clearly went out there and put in the work. He talked about his workouts with Steph Curry. We know Steph Curry, one of the best conditioned athletes in the league, because he's in constant motion. And then in the fourth quarter, he still has enough gas with his jump shot. And so maybe conditioning could improve this team.
Speaking of De'Aaron Fox, on to something a little more pleasant. De'Aaron Fox named by The Ringer yesterday, one of 8 players in the league who has leveled up. The guy who wrote that piece, Michael Pina, joins us next to talk about this year's rise of De'Aaron Fox. Draper and Whitey got that for you from the Golden One Center next right here on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resources at calhope.org today.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville. Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, last night's over with, right, Kyle? Yeah. Forget about it, right? What do you think about it? Look forward to tonight. I really am looking forward to tonight's game. Orlando Magic. Should be fun.
This is a good team, a fun team, some young talent.
Yeah.
This is, as a lot of people think, they're Sacramento of last year, like who were the Kings were a season ago. Young had missed the playoffs, and now, exciting, like league pass must watch.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we talked about the fact that the Kings got some national love from the Ringer, and so we thought we'd be talking about that under more pleasant circumstances, but that's okay. Nice enough to join us. Senior staff writer from the Ringer prepared a piece that was posted yesterday on 8 players in the NBA who have leveled up, led by De'Aaron Fox at the top of the list. Michael Pina joins us. Michael, how are you? Happy New Year. Thanks for your time.
Happy New Year, guys. How you doing?
We're doing all right. We were doing better this time yesterday before that loss to Charlotte, but it happens. What Michael has impressed you the most about De'Aaron's play and his improvement this season?
Yeah, it's got to be the 3-point shot, right? Like when De'Aaron Fox first entered the NBA, that was kind of the one great shortcoming in his offensive skill set. And, he was one of the fastest players coming out of college, could get to the basket at will. He could, run a really capable pick and roll. He was just an absolute phenom in transition. And for him now to have evolved to this level where he's one of the more potent pull-up 3-point shooters in the entire NBA, and to have made the leap that he did statistically from even just last season, it's just a really fascinating evolution that completely changes, in my opinion, his trajectory as a player, as a potential MVP candidate someday, and just kind of a run-of-the-mill all-star. I think the 3-point shot for him has just really opened up a lot individually and for Sacramento's offense.
Yeah, Michael, and before the season, Whitey and I had talked about what we wanted to see from De'Aaron Fox. I think we said maybe 4 to 5 3 attempts per game because he's so elite at getting into the paint, getting to the basket and scoring around the basket. He's at 9 shot attempts, 9 3-point attempts per game. And so when you look at the number of attempts that he puts up, are you okay with that? Has he reached that status now? I know the results say yes, he's a 40% 3-point shooter, but you mentioned how fascinating and remarkable it is. Not that he's just hitting them, but the sheer amount that he's taking so far this season.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you want from your point guard in today's NBA. It's definitely an analytically friendly shot chart, he's cut his long twos literally in half in terms of long two shooting rate from last season. And to go from 27, 28% of his shots were threes last year to almost 40% or just above 40% are threes this year, I think it's fantastic. I mean, obviously, it's relatively early in the year, and if he's able to kind of continue to make 40% of his pull-up threes off the dribble, I mean, then that's scary. There's not a lot of guys who can shoot at a high volume that accurate. I mean, that's like literally, that's Steph Curry, Damian Lillard status. And he's hunting them. I mean, he doesn't take bad attempts. I mean, last night in the Charlotte game, I thought that most of the threes he took were really good looks. Hunting in transition, a lot of catch and shoot looks, and in the pick and roll too. If you're drop back, the biggest drop back, he is not hesitating to just let it fly, and he's just playing with a lot of confidence. So I think it's a good thing that he's up the volume from behind the 3-point line.
Michael Pina is with us from The Ringer, senior staff writer, just wrote a great piece on, among others, De'Aaron Fox. This may be a leading question, Michael, but you mentioned that De'Aaron Fox's play should be getting more attention. Why do you think it isn't getting more attention?
That's a really good question. Before I even set out to write the story, I look at the standings every day. I'm really familiar with the league, of course, but I just didn't even realize that the Sacramento Kings were, not comfortably out of the play-in, but, pretty close to the fourth. I mean, the 4 seed, 5 seed right now.
Yeah.
So it's curious to me a little bit because they had such success last year, making the playoffs, obviously, and being very competitive in that first round series against the Golden State Warriors. And, their defense, I think, has really improved this season compared to last year. But I don't know why there isn't a lot of excitement around the Kings. I think potentially it's just because they didn't make a lot of flashy offseason moves, and it's essentially the same roster as last year. That could be an explanation. But they're a more balanced team, and I love Domas Sabonis. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He made an All-NBA team last year, and he's one of the more underrated centers in basketball. So, it's a good question. I couldn't answer why they're not getting a little bit more buzz, a little bit more attention, but his numbers are kind of jaw-dropping. I mean, 30 points per game with the 4th highest usage, I believe it is right now in the entire NBA. That's superstar stuff.
Michael Pina joining us from The Ringer. It's interesting, Michael, you brought up Domantas Sabonis, and there are some colleagues of yours, Kevin O'Connor, who, let's say, who views Domas as maybe a potentially person holding the Kings back from reaching their full potential. What do you like about Domas, and what do you think of him as a starting center on a championship caliber team?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of bigs who are just dominant in the post, but can also see the court with elite vision. And so Domas, he's kind of the only big who's a better passer, in my opinion, is Nikola Jokic, who's like the greatest passing big man in the history of basketball. So, that's kind of a tough comparison. But Domas is super, super efficient with his back to the basket, always able to draw double teams, really effective on the perimeter. In the DHO game with guys like Kevin Huerter, who I know just moved to the bench, but Chris Duarte, and Fox as well, Malik Monk, etc. So he really frees guys up for open looks, and he's a big reason why their offense hums. I know that the rationale for him potentially capping the Kings is on the other side of the ball, but I think that there's just ways you can scheme around that with other personnel. Obviously the Denver Nuggets winning the championship is the comp that you want there, where you kind of get guys like KCP and you get Aaron Gordon and just elite perimeter defenders, big size around him that can help. That's the path, but crazier things have happened. I wouldn't rule that out entirely. I wouldn't rule a deep playoff run out just because Domantas Sabonis is on your team. I think he's just an amazing offensive player.
Catching up with Michael Pina from The Ringer. I'm not comparing De'Aaron to Michael Jordan, but I do remember when Michael – no, I'm not. Bear with me here. I want to make sure we're clear.
It is.
When early in Michael's NBA career, a lot of people said, well, yeah, he's a great individual player, but he doesn't make his teammates better like Bird and Magic. And it wasn't until the Bulls had great success as a team that Michael was recognized as the great player that he is. So my question is, to what extent do you think De'Aaron's reputation or legacy hinges on how well ultimately this team becomes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that line of thinking applies to just about everybody, right? And De'Aaron Fox has kind of been around the NBA for a really long time. And one of the premises of my article that I wrote is basically guys who have established reputations who are kind of bucking them right now and changing them. And so I think when you win, if you don't go to the playoffs, like nothing can change. I mean, you look at someone like Zach LaVine, he's just, it's all stats, and that's kind of who he is right now as an NBA player. But you go to the playoffs and you have success. I thought that even though the Kings lost that series, they showed a lot of grit and a lot of heart, and I thought Fox played really well despite having a serious injury. So advancing this year, making the playoffs again in a really congested, competitive Western Conference. I do think he already makes his teammates better. I don't think there's any question about that. He's a really aware pick and roll ball handler who can make every pass and every read on the court. I don't think there's anything selfish about his game at all. So, I mean, it's just about winning. It's about being a little bit more balanced and getting some more help from the supporting cast. And yeah, I think his reputation will absolutely change.
Michael, when you look at the Western Conference, I look at the top, Minnesota, OKC, in the leaps that they made. What is separating them apart from Sacramento right now? What don't they have that they need right now to be in that elite Western Conference conversation?
I think those two teams are like first and second or first and third in defense, elite defense, elite rim protection. And we just talked about Domas Sabonis. There's not that that's the only way that you can win, but I think just when I'm comparing the Sacramento Kings with those two teams in particular, they can beat you in a lot of different ways in terms of their defensive versatility. They've got a lot of size, got a lot of length, really good rebounding team. And I know that the Sacramento Kings are one of the better defensive rebounding teams in the league this season, which is really encouraging to see. That's a big component of winning. But consistent night in, night out, really raising your floor as a team, having an elite defense really does that for you. So I think that would be the biggest separator between those two and the Kings right now.
Well, speaking of very encouraging, if you're a Kings fan, if you haven't already, check out Michael's piece at The Ringer. I think you'll find it very encouraging. Michael, we appreciate your time very, very much. Thanks. Very nice piece. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Michael. Thanks, man.
How about that? There's somebody from The Ringer. We had been told that The Ringer frowns on people coming on, and Jay got him on
just like that. And
I
texted Kevin O'Connor. I'm like, when you coming on the show? We got Michael Pina on right now. What's your excuse?
He might not be your boy, just saying.
He ducking the smoke. That's what that is, man. If I was working in Boston right now, he'd jump on in a heartbeat. You know he's public enemy number one here in Sacramento. He's scared of that smoke.
We can help him with that.
That's what I'm trying to tell him.
We can help turn that around.
This is a safe space,
Speaking of trades and things of that nature, as we so often are now with these Kings, when we come back, we've got today an NBA trade talk. Which member of the Jazz is the subject of the most trade conversation? We have the surprising answer to that and a Siakam update as well when we come right back to the Golden One Center on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
Marcus, what happened?
I was changing my oil and I spilled some on the floor.
Oh, well, use these $50 bills to wipe it up.
Perfect. Got any more?
Yeah, take a couple hundred.
Stop. Instead of using money, use an old rag. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Got a trivia question for you. You like trivia questions? All right.
Throw my mic. Yeah, I love trivia questions.
I only know this because I saw it somewhere, so I'm not trying to be, I know this. Do you know it? I just happened to see it somewhere. It's how I know it. I would not have gotten this right.
Just claim it.
Yeah, I do this. It's easy. There are 5 NBA players this season who are averaging a triple-double per 100 possessions. Do you want to? How many do you think you could name? There are 5 NBA players this season who are averaging a triple-double per 100 possessions.
I think I could name. This is tough. I'd say 3 I can name.
Okay.
Oh, you want? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Jokic.
That is correct. Well done.
Sabonis.
That is correct. Well done.
This is where it starts getting difficult right here. I would say Shai Gilgeous.
Nope.
No?
Good guess. There's 2 guys on there you could get. There's one guy, and that's why I'm asking. There's one guy's like, wait, what? The other 2, you want me to tell you?
Yeah. What you got?
Okay. Jokic and Sabonis, correct. Triple doubles per 100 possessions. Also, LeBron James.
Okay, yep. I get that.
And Luka.
Yep. Okay, yes.
The 5th, and I mention him because apparently there's a lot of interest in him potentially on the trade market. Kelly Olynyk.
The Clinic?
Yes.
Kelly Olynyk?
Yes.
Wow.
He is averaging a triple-double per 100 possessions. Obviously, he's piling up the assists this year. From our sister station, KSL Sports, Ben Anderson says, I've been told that Kelly Olynyk has had the most robust trade market among teams calling the Jazz to see who is available. So we all assume that everyone wants Lauri Markkanen. I don't know that Utah has any interest in trading Lauri Markkanen, but a lot of teams are calling about Kelly Olynyk. Don't think he's a good fit here, but
you don't? I think he would be an excellent fit here. Oh
really?
My gosh. I love Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk is a winner, first of all.
No question. He's a winner.
He, was on, teams in Boston that went deep in the playoffs. Helped Team Canada. You could ask Jordy Fernandez about Kelly Olynyk. Helped Team Canada at the FIBA World Cup. Elite passer, elite mover of the ball. A lot of times we talk about, the ball sticks or, they don't play with pace. Well, Kelly Olynyk plays with pace. I mean, he is a guy that moves the ball, moves without the ball.
I just feel like I already have a big who does that. That's why I say
I'm not saying as a starter, but as a bench guy, another bench guy. I mean, think about this, because a lot of people are talking about Trey Lyles needs to be starting at the 4. Let's say Trey Lyles is your starting 4. Who's your bench for? If Harrison Barnes is here or not. Like Kelly Olynyk would be a great coming off the bench for the Sacramento Kings.
And he's coming off the bench now. He's averaging 8 points, about 5.5 rebounds, and a little under 5 assists, 55% from the floor shooting. He's making his threes at 41%. He's on an expiring contract of just more than $12 million. So maybe there's a guy to keep an eye on. It's just apparently there are a lot of teams keeping an eye on Kelly Olynyk, which gets us back to that old question with the Kings. Well, how can they put together a competitive offense?
Right. What would you have to give up? But if I'm Sacramento, if Boston's interested, if Miami, if the Lakers, if the Heat, all those teams are interested, all those are championship contenders, mind you, should we be interested too? Especially at $12 million a year. The thing about Kelly Olynyk that I love is his basketball IQ. And some people say, well, he doesn't play great defense. He actually plays some pretty solid positional defense. He's not going to lock anybody there down, but team defense, and he's a great communicator. I could see him getting into coaching at some point once his playing days are over. I'm a big fan of Kelly Olynyk.
You'd see him coming off the bench here. How would that fit? And I'm not saying it wouldn't. How would that fit, say, with Trey coming off the bench?
If Kelly Olynyk is here, you would probably have to trade somebody in that position. And so maybe Trey becomes the starter and Kelly Olynyk comes off the bench. Maybe Kelly Olynyk becomes the starter and Trey comes off the bench. I don't know. The problem is, our guy Beamley weighing in on the YouTube chat. I urge people, let me know what you think about Kelly Olynyk, 916-339-1140. The problem with all the guys we're throwing out there, there's question marks regarding everybody. Contract, doesn't play defense, one shots. Like, is there a perfect solution? Maybe we saw it in the guy PJ Washington yesterday. But does PJ Washington immediately come here and start at the 4? What about Trey Lyles? And so there's some question marks, but I think Kelly Olynyk is fantastic.
The thing I don't like about PJ Washington, and I mentioned this only because, we saw him last night and you bring him up. He just got paid, right? And his numbers have gone down. And bless him. Good for him. But I'm anxious to hitch my wagon to anybody who gets the bag and then they're not playing as well, right? Because it's like, well,
hold on. What are we talking about, Whitey? This is the problem, and I hear you. I get it. I don't know if PJ Washington is that guy, got paid, and all of a sudden his game, we got to understand.
Either, but I don't want to assume that risk. I mean, it's true that has happened. Maybe that's not the reason, but there's a risk there.
But maybe his role is different.
Maybe
the coaching staff wants to go in a different direction. Maybe he needs a fresh start.
Maybe
in a different environment. I don't know. But that's, there's question marks regarding everyone. Pascal Siakam, great player. I love Pascal, but his contract's up.
Right.
Can you resign? So there's question mark. Like, if we're talking about making a trade, I think the Kings are going to have to assume some risk with whatever direction they decide to go. You're risking whether it's resigning a player, will they fit, do they play defense? Like, there's no perfect candidate out there.
Do you want a Siakam update?
Yeah, what you got?
Not on any teams or anything, but this might make him less desirable. Siakam, as a free agent,
Who's that in the background? Is that Nate?
I think I hear Nate.
Nate, be quiet. All right, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Siakam, as a free agent, he can sign up to a 4-year extension, okay? And he's scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent. If he's traded, let's say he gets traded, let's just say the Kings.
Yeah.
If he got traded to the Kings, he could only sign a 2-year extension with the Kings. Whoever he's traded to.
Really?
If it's like, let's bring him in and sign up to an extension, according to Mark Stein, he could only sign initially a 2-year extension. Then once he's a free agent, which would be when the season's over, he could sign the 4-year.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So there's the risk is like,
yeah.
we'll bring you here. We know you're not going to sign right away because why would you? And we're just going to hope that you sign the 4-year when the season.
Yeah, you got to take some risk, right?
Big risk.
Big risk.
Yeah.
You would hope that he's forthcoming, he's open and honest about his plans.
That might actually lower the asking price for him because of the risk involved. Maybe that gives a chance for the Kings to get back in it if they're.
If I'm Siakam and I'm being 100% real, I'm becoming a free agent no matter what.
Yeah,
no matter who I'm traded to, I'm not going to sign no extension. I'm going to hit the open market and see what I can get.
And apparently that's what teams understand, and that's what he has made for the most part clear.
Yeah.
And according to Mark Stein, contenders for Siakam, or at least teams that are interested, the Hawks, the Pacers, the Kings, maybe Dallas, maybe Memphis. Atlanta's interesting because wait a minute, what are they? Are they trading away their stars? They want to trade Murray, but they still want to get a star.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting situation there. Indy is kind of like the Kings, right? But it looks like all the things we say about the Kings, that's too risky. It appears that Indiana's like, that's fine.
We
will assume that risk.
Because I think you look at Indiana, they don't have a big two yet. It's Tyrese Halliburton and then sort of everybody else. Sacramento, you have your big two, maybe your big three with Keegan. And so you need somebody to add to that.
Yeah.
I think the Pacers are looking for a second star, a second player to play alongside Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, and they want it now, and they're not concerned about next year.
Exactly.
When we come back, more trade talk here with the trade winds starting to swirl around the NBA. And after last night, help me, brother, for I have lost faith from the Golden One Center to Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Because you know you've had this couch for too long. Sure, you've had good times together, but a ripped-up cushion is not a fond memory. It's a sign. Notice how other people have couches with 2 armrests? Now that's living, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new couch. Please, it's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients, and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I mean, those are usually the good things about back-to-backs. Whenever you don't play well in that first game, like you said, you have to have a short-term memory because you have another game tomorrow. So, like I said, we want to – obviously, tomorrow we'll watch film on some of this, but we have to prepare for the next game. So, get what we get out of this game, whatever our teaching moments are, and move on to the next one because Orlando's coming in here. They've played well this year, and we have to be ready or else it can look like the rest of our back-to-backs have this year.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Thad, De'Aaron Fox last night after the Kings' tough loss to the Charlotte Hornets. Got the drive guys coming to you from the Golden One Center, getting ready for the Kings in Orlando tonight. I got to admit, Kyle Draper, dear listener, I've lost faith in the Kings. I haven't lost. It's not that I've lost, affection for them or enthusiasm watching their games, but I thought I knew who they were, and there were certain games where I felt like, you know what, they're going to be fine in this game. Like last night, I thought, you know what, Orlando's just not very good, and they're shorthanded. The Kings, they've struggled, but I know the Kings are good enough to beat that team. Now, it didn't happen, and that's the NBA, but I don't feel right now like I can trust this team on any given night to be the team I think they are. I've kind of lost faith in them a little bit.
All of last night?
Last night, in addition to, I don't have to go all the losses this year where we've gone, what happened? Oh, they're fine now. What happened? So many of them. Again, I'm not saying I'm giving up on them. I'm not giving up on the season. I'm not angry. I just realized, wow, I don't know what they are.
Wow, Whitey. You're stumping me here because they are who we thought they were. I feel like. I feel like they are. Like last night just proved once again they're wildly inconsistent.
Okay.
Now, did you think they had turned a corner? Did you think you knew who they were before last night?
I thought that I thought they were good enough no matter what they're going through where they could beat a shorthanded Orlando team at home. And even when they were struggling last night, I still thought, you win the game, fine. You win, an ugly win, doesn't matter. And then in the last minute, they really folded up. And it just left me wondering, I'm not sure who these guys are as a team right now. I'm just being honest. I'm a little bewildered by what I saw last night, more than angry.
Does this keep you up at night? Does it, is it hard to sleep or anything like that? Do you need therapy? You need to, hop on the Drape's couch or something like
that's
that?
What I'm trying to do. That's why I'm here,
not a good
doctor.
therapist, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, get over it. It'll be okay. Right? That's
great. All right.
That's my advice.
How much that cost?
No, I feel your pain, and I will say this, and you're 100% right in how you feel. Your feelings are validated by this team and their performance. So I don't want you to, think that, oh man, maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. I get it. Kings fans feel the same way. Came into this season so much promise, so many expectations, and they're, whipping you around emotionally.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
It reminds me, years ago, Kyle, I remember I was in the Giants clubhouse. There was a Giants player, and he was a good player, but he was really struggling, having a terrible slump. And then he had a good game towards the end of the year, and people were asking him, it must be frustrating. And he said, it's not so much frustrating, it's confusing. And that's how I feel about this team right now. I'm not so much frustrated as I am just like, I don't get it. I don't understand quite what's going on, what's causing all the ups and the downs.
And you are not alone, my friend. Mike Brown, I'm sure, is feeling the same way. The players are feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Because I've been in meetings, in film sessions, where they're trying to figure this out. They're trying to figure out why do we respond like this?
Yeah.
Why do we play down to the level of our competition? And I think that's probably the most bewildering part of this season. It's not rotation. It's just the look of this team. 1 minute they can look like world beaters, and the next they look like a lottery team. Like they don't care. And I thought what we saw last night was a team that really didn't compete. They played, and as you know, Whitey, there's a difference between playing basketball and competing at basketball.
Yes.
Last night, the Sacramento Kings played a basketball game. They did not compete to win. And you would think after losses to Portland, after losses to Houston, and some of the bad blowout losses that they have, at this point of the season, they would have learned their lesson. We said it yesterday. We said, no way. Like, this team learned its lesson. Right. Like, we had more faith in them than it seemed like they had in themselves.
They're not dumb. We all know the players. They're not dumb.
Right.
They're very smart individuals, so they're aware of what's going on. But as Mike Brown said last night, you miss free throws. You can control that.
Yeah.
A lot of the turnovers, 21 turnovers, he said a lot of them, we just threw the ball away. It wasn't forced. A lot of them, we just threw the ball away. And then the defense, which sometimes you have to give credit to the offense, but the defense was lackluster. So you had a team last night that they took that game, wrapped it up very poorly, by the way, very shabbily, and just gave it to Charlotte like, here's a late Christmas present. Right?
Yes.
They just gave it to him.
Yes. And that's the only way Charlotte was going to beat you.
Yep.
Is if you just gave it to them. 21 turnovers. And I said it yesterday. Charlotte's the worst defensive team in the NBA, and you score 104 points.
Yeah.
Your offense looks – all you got to do is execute. All you got to do is move the ball around. It's like they were on steroids yesterday trying to move too fast, couldn't catch. And I think, to your point, the way you started off this segment, it's like, who are these guys? They're Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know which Sacramento team is going to show up each night. Last year, when you watched the Sacramento Kings, one thing that I thought about that team last year is that they had exercised their demons of collapsing late in games. Like, they were never out of it. They would make a push that, you saw the fight. You saw that they were poor, hungry, and driven. I don't see that this year. I see a team that shows up, and you know what? We got to let it play out to find out which team is going. If you ask me right now, what's going to happen in tonight's game against Orlando, we have no idea.
I really don't.
We hope that they'll respond.
Exactly.
We hope that they'll bounce back. But we have no idea about this Kings.
Right. And I know earlier you were talking about last year's compared to this year, and the record-wise, it's like, you're still on track to do some nice things. But last year, we knew who the Kings were. And we knew that, for the most part, night in and night out, with some exceptions, because it's the NBA and they're human, they're going to score points.
Yeah.
And you better watch out, because they're going to score points in bunches. This year, what are they going to do? Well, I don't know. They might do this and they might do that, And so maybe there's something of an identity issue, but the way you solve that is by going out and playing well and doing something well on a consistent basis.
Yes. And, the thing that's so frustrating to me, we sit up here, people, surmise, opine, whatever it is,
yes,
about trades. I don't think guys in the locker room understand they are playing for their spot on this roster right now. Like, there are guys who are underperforming who are the subject of trade rumors. And when you look at a package for a Siakam or a DeJounte or whoever it is, some of these guys' names are being mentioned, and you would think that, you know what, I'm going to come out there and ball. I'm going to come out there and show some fight. I'm going to come out there and show that I want to be here. And we're not seeing that, and it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And, whether it's Keegan, De'Aaron, Domas, we know those guys are safe. For the most part, De'Aaron and Domas, they're bringing it every single night. But everybody else, and for the most part, Malik too, outside of last night, they're bringing it. But some of these guys need to look at themselves in the mirror and say, we have an opportunity here to be a good team, if not a great team, and we're not taking advantage of it.
There's been a lot of talk today. I heard some on with Styles and Watkins, but they're not the only ones talking about it, about, questioning, well, where's the leadership on this team? Does Mike Brown need to change his approach? And I just don't see that as a problem. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Mike Brown, the way he talks to the team is a lot different than the way he talks to us.
Right.
So if you're thinking he needs to be tougher on the
100%.
team, I mean, you don't need to worry about that, right?
And that's one of the things that we've loved about Mike Brown is he holds guys accountable.
Yes.
You remember last year, we saw the clips of him turning on the Jets in practice. Like, he's a fiery guy behind the scenes in practice. So trust me, he doesn't need to be tougher on guys. Like, he challenges guys every day in practice. But then when he meets it with the media, he puts on a good face. He's calm. He's cool.
You keep it in house.
Yeah, you keep
I'm
it
really
in-house.
upset with this guy, but I'm not going to tell you.
Right. I'm not going to call him out in public like that. Exactly. And so, this leadership thing, why all of a sudden isn't an issue when, mind you, Whitey, I keep going back to this. They're in a better position today than they were a season ago record-wise. We're talking about the unanimous coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brown did a fantastic job this year. All of a sudden, they're on track to win more games this year, but now he's not doing a good job. Now he has a leadership problem. Like, I don't get it.
I don't see it. I understand why people, looking for answers would wonder about that, but I don't see it. I did think it was interesting last night. I think it was his opening statement to the media when he said, he talked about it was alarming, our lack of focus. But then he said at the end, it's on me too. And he says, because I didn't get him ready to play, apparently. And I thought that was a little bit of a shot,
Right.
I didn't get ready to play, apparently. Like, I don't know how that was the case. So he's frustrated too.
And that's coach speak, right?
Yeah.
That's just the coach making sure, he's just not singling out the players.
Right.
But I thought to start the game, they came out ready to play. I thought the starting five came out ready to play. Soon as he went to the bench, and he said it got loose, throwing the ball away, underhanded passes, and then, something like that snowballs, and then it becomes contagious. Domantas Sabonis had 11 turnovers last night.
I know.
I think that tied a franchise record in turnovers, too. 11 turnovers for Domas. And I understand he handles the ball, but he couldn't catch the ball yesterday at times. And he had some offensive fouls as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just frustrating, man. And I get it, Kings fans. We're all frustrated. We're angry. We're upset. This team should be better. They're 19-13. They could easily be 23-9 or something like that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they could easily be that right now. But all it shows you is that they're not ready yet. It's still some growing pains to go through right now.
So is depth the single biggest issue holding these Kings back right now? And Malik versus Mike, anything to see here? They had a little exchange last night. More on that when we come right back to the Golden One Center Drive, guys, on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by E.B. Stone. E.B. Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
And like the Kings themselves, we're trying to figure out, hey, what happened last night to Drive Guys from the Golden One Center. By the way, bottom of the hour, Dante Marcatelli, TV voice of the Orlando Magic, is going to join us. But right now, let's go to the phones, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Maybe Will has the answer for us. Hey, Will, thanks for joining the Drive Guys. What's up?
What's up, White? What's Drake?
What you got, baby?
Drake, my boy, man. You need to have Matt Barnes in there with you, man, because he had to calm you down last night. See, when they blow a game like that, when they play pitiful ball like they did last night, and then you be damn near crying with me. We both had the towels out. We both be saying, what the hell are we doing? And then you get on TV, man, when somebody call in, man, that's just one game. Come on, we got 82 games. Everybody know that, man. Everybody realizes that. It's nowhere in the world. These are professional athletes, man, to play that bad last night. I mean, and then I got this one question for you because I know you got a lot of calls and you got to get ready for the game.
Yeah, what you got?
Trey, check this out, man. Look. I ain't trying to tell the coach how to coach. He sees everything. Like you say, he's in the locker room. He knows it. But how you going to have, you have these games where you have guys like Monk, JaVale. They come into the game. They play like dogs, man. They blocking shots. They diving at the balls. They fouling people, and stuff like that. And then as soon as Alex come back, JaVale don't see the floor. I don't understand that because you got a guy, he gonna rebound, he gonna block shots, he gonna foul, you ain't getting no layup on JaVale, okay? And then you have my man just had a bad, he was just off, man. Sabonis was just off, man. He was losing the ball, he was fumbling the ball and everything. He got his points and his rebounds, but they should have used JaVale. A couple of plays could have turned that game last night.
Here's the thing, Will.
Thanks,
and
Will.
you know you my guy.
I don't understand.
I appreciate you. I know you watch and listen every day. You're my guy. The thing is, and this is why I think Mike Brown is turning to Alex Len instead of JaVale McGee, because JaVale McGee can be a wild card at times. One minute he looks great.
Forrest Gump, you see the
Yeah.
movie? Yeah, JaVale McGee is a box of chocolates.
Right. You never know what you're going to get until you open them up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alex Len is steady. You know what you're going to get. He's not going to get you 15 and 10 or anything like that, but he's not going to hurt you on the other end as well. And so I don't know. I think one of the frustrating things, and I would imagine Mike's frustrated too, we talk about his rotations, and I said yesterday I think his rotations are pretty much set. And I was spot on about that, Whitey. Like, he went with the guys he normally goes with. And right now it seems like JaVale and Sasha on the outside looking in. And I don't know what's going on with Keon Ellis, that situation. It's not even like he's just not he's because you have to have the 50-game rule in the
we were talking about that last night before the game with G-Man.
But if I'm correct, it's not 50 games playing, it's active, right? Like, I need to look that up. So Keon is active and sitting on the bench. I need to double check that.
They may have changed that in the last few years, but it's
Yeah,
the point.
yeah, exactly. So that's something to keep an eye on. But they still got tons of games left. They still got a lot of time. I talked to Wes Wilcox about this on the road trip. He said we still got plenty of time for Keon to make any kind of decisions converting it to a standard contract or not. I think what we're seeing is twofold. One, and we talked about this the other day, Whitey. One, Mike Brown has to do a better job of consistently setting on a rotation and playing guys so that they get into a rhythm and we can find out. But two, the players have to take advantage of that.
Right.
Like, JaVale McGee, you got to come out there and say, you know what? Alex Lynn ain't getting in this game today because I'm playing so well. Same thing with Duarte. Sasha's out of the rotation. Why is Sasha out of the rotation? Because he didn't take advantage of the opportunity that was given. Now, it wasn't much of an opportunity. I'll agree with that. But it's players and coaches have to do better in terms of consistency.
Yeah, and I do think that's one of the team's fundamental problems is the depth. We've said it before, some of the guys they brought in with an idea towards those guys helping the team get better this year, they haven't played well.
Right.
We're seeing it in bits and pieces, fits and starts. Like Duarte's starting to play better, so that's encouraging. By the way, I love that Scott Moak now, if you notice this, he says Chris Duarte.
Oh,
that's what he used to do with Chris Webber. Oh, Chris Webber. Now he goes, Chris Duarte. I'm going to have to ask about that. It's like,
I might have to tell him to pause that. I love Duarte, but it ain't, you can't.
Yeah.
I don't
and
know.
The Keegan Murray. I told Scott, I said, you know what? I would keep that if I were you.
Oh, you told her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Don't get rid of it like the bean.
Right.
That's
what I told.
Keep the team too. The bean and the Keegan Murray. Okay.
But I do, honestly, all kidding aside, I think that's one of the issues. I'm with you. I think the players do have to play better, but that's one reason why this team is struggling a little bit. Some of the guys coming off the bench that were supposed to help this team get better, they just haven't really done that yet.
Whitey, it's sort of like, the old adage in football. If you got 2 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, do you really have any? And the bench guys outside of Malik and Trey have not separated themselves. Davion hasn't separated himself. Sasha hasn't set. JaVale hasn't. And so the minutes are there. Mike Brown is actually, trust me, I know Mike Brown don't want to be in January trying to still figure out a rotation.
Right.
I mean, come on. And so, but the players, it's a cat and mouse kind of thing. Chicken and the egg. What comes first, Is it give the guys some minutes, consistent minutes, and see how they fare, and then you can set on the rotation? Or do the guys need to play when they get in the game like Keon Ellis did that time and take advantage of those minutes, and then you're in the rotation?
Now, last night, I believe it was the great Matt George, who used to work here at our station.
Yeah.
He got some video of Malik. It was one of Malik making a shot, kind of jawing with somebody on his own bench, and then Malik and Coach during a timeout going at each other. And before we get Kyle's take on what was that about, was it anything Coach Brown did last night? He was asked about it after the game, and he addressed it. Here's Mike Brown on his back and forth last night during the game with Malik Monk.
Yeah, no, it's heat of the moment. Malik and I think everybody has seen it, but Malik and I have gotten into exchanges before. This is not the first time, and I bet a lot of money it won't be the last time. So that's not a big deal.
Anything to see there, Coach? Anything going on?
I saw it live, the Malik stare towards Mike Brown. I saw the box score at the half, and sometimes, I look at the box score too. Malik, 5 minutes. And, I don't want anybody. No, but 5 minutes for Malik Monk in the first half. And I said to my producer, I said, did something happen? Did I miss something? And then Malik hit the threes and stared at Mike Brown. I'm like, oh, there's something going on between those two. I will say this, because I've seen Mike Brown and Malik behind the scenes, interact. Malik is a fiery person. Malik will let you know how he feels. And if he gets taken out or subbed out and he doesn't feel like, he didn't 5 minutes in, I'm sure that pissed him off. He was perturbed by that.
Right.
And when he hit those threes, it was like showing up Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Mike ain't going to let that slide either, though. And so the good thing about this Sacramento Kings team that I've been able to see is that They have been receptive to coaching, to criticism. And so I don't think it's a big thing. Now, we'll see if it lingers tonight. If those two guys get into it again tonight, then you start to wonder. But I'm not, it's not the first time that those two have butted heads. In public and in practice.
Right. And he handled that very well, Coach Brown did, the way he talked about it. Let me just ask you this question. I'm not presuming the answer, but it is, I think, a fair question. I think I know the answer, but could what have happened last night between Coach Brown and Malik, the way they're going at it, do you think that in any way caused any negative energy that contributed to the lackluster performance of the team? Just a question. Just asking the question. Going all Alan, stop. I'm just asking the question.
I don't think so, because at the end of that exchange, Malik gave Mike a little pat on the shoulder, on the back as well. And so I've seen far worse things. Remember, LeBron James gave Eric Spoelstra the shoulder. That didn't derail their championship aspirations or, anything like that. I've seen players get into fights. I've seen in Boston, Marcus Smart, and another player get into it, like physically get into it at a game in Miami.
Was it Robert Horry threw a towel and Danny Ainge's face?
Robert Horry when in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
That happened. And so these things happen in the heat of battle. I'm actually, I don't want to say glad, but it shows me at least they care. Like, it shows me Malik Monk was pissed off at not being in the game in the first half. I'd rather have that and have to smooth it over than the guy just, you know what, screw that. Forget coach. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good look. The optics aren't good. But remember in football, we saw Travis Kelce throwing the helmet. We saw Andy Reid confronting him. Like, you see that in sports from time to time. Now it's up to those guys to make sure it doesn't carry over to tonight and going forward.
History suggests also that the two of them are perfectly capable of putting that behind them and moving on. That there's some benefit in short term, and it's not an issue long term. Something to keep an eye on, but doesn't appear to be an issue long term. When we come back, the play-by-play voice of the Orlando Magic, Dante Marchitelli, is going to join us with a preview of tonight's matchup from the Golden One Center. It's next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% on select Sanctuary by Green Fiber blown-in insulation when you buy 30 or more. And there's more. Save 10% on select OSB sheathing when you buy 68 or more. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Before we get to our special guest, I know a lot of people on the chat here are wondering about until they can settle on a lineup and settle on rotations, they're not going to be able to take care of the basketball. I wanted to point out that last night, De'Aaron Fox was asked about that. Hey, you got Duarte in the starting lineup. Does that make it harder, to run the offense? Is that why you had so many turnovers? And De'Aaron Fox said, no, I had nothing to do with that. So it doesn't matter.
I don't think
just
so,
take
right?
care of the ball.
Yeah, just take care of the ball.
So I'll mention that because a lot of people wondering about that. A lot of people also wondering about this team that the Kings will be facing tonight, the Orlando Magic. With more on that, nice enough to join us, TV host for the Magic, play-by-play voice, Dante Marchitelli. Dante, Happy New Year. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year to you as well. Hope all is well with you guys.
Things were going well until last night, and the Kings ran into Charlotte. But be that as it may, Dante, how is such a young team as Orlando, how have they become such a good defensive team?
Well, quite frankly, we're trying to follow the blueprint that you guys laid last year. They're trying to be one of the surprise teams. I think what Sacramento did last year is what Orlando trying to do in the Eastern Conference. But I think, quite honestly, Jamal Mosley has said from the beginning that the calling card for this team has to be on the defensive end. Sacramento is third in the NBA in threes made per game. That's not how Orlando is built. They're not going to come out and knock down a bunch of threes. They're dead last in threes made, attempted, 3-point percentage. So how do you how do you stay in these games? How do you win these games? If you're built like this, you're going to have to do it on the defensive end. So they've made up that's been their calling card. They get second chance opportunities. They get points off turnovers. One of the highest teams in the NBA as far as steals. So they put a lot of pressure up front. Makes it tough when you have a guy like De'Aaron Fox. You can't really speed him up. Kind of plays at his own pace. But ideally, you get a lot of pressure out there on the perimeter, force some errant passes, get out and run the other way. That's what they try to do. And they're one of the best teams in the NBA getting to the free throw line. So that's kind of been the blueprint, the formula for this team. But they've run into just a buzzsaw gauntlet as far as their schedule. They're in the middle of a stretch where they'll have played 11 of 12 opponents all above 500. So they're kind of feeling it a little bit the last week or so. But they're hoping to bounce back tonight against Sacramento if they can.
Hey, Dante, Kyle Draper here, man. Looking forward to seeing you tonight here at Golden One Center. You mentioned the gauntlet that they've been through over the last 10, 11 games. And when I look at it, this team is 3-7 in their last 10. Where would you say the mood, the mindset, the psychology is of the team right now?
Well, first of all, Kyle, it's always good to talk to you. Keep up the great work, my friend. I love what you're doing out here. But, yeah, the last 10 games, it's just a case in point like last night. You're playing a tough team in Golden State. You're right there. You got a lead with 8 minutes to go, and then you just get cold down the stretch. Same thing happened in Phoenix. And, Phoenix and Golden State have some decent shot makers. They're down the stretch, and that's what happened. They just made some big shots, and this Orlando Magic team is kind of going through the fire a little bit. So now – whereas I think, and it's probably similar to the jump Sacramento made, you have a had a year like last year where Orlando kind of snuck up on some teams, right? Well, now you come into these buildings 19-10, 19-12. And in a case like tonight, you're not going to sneak up on anyone anymore. They're ready for you. You're 4th or 5th in the East coming into these last few games. So I think teams have been ready. There's been a great game plan to kind of keep Orlando away from the rim. They're one of the best teams at getting to the basket, lead the league in shots in the painted area, in the restricted area. So I think that's been a formula. Force Orlando to shoot, dare Orlando to shoot. And if they don't work for better shots and settle for threes, that's been a problem for us. So I think they've been right there. But it's tough to win in the NBA. It's great experience for Paolo, for Franz, but somebody's got to come up and make some big shots down the stretch. And they got to, they're Paolo and Franz are the guys, but they're drawing so much attention. Somebody else has got to step up and make a play.
Dante Marcatelli is with us, play-by-play voice for the Magic tonight. We got the Magic and the Kings here at the Golden One Center. You mentioned Paolo, and of course the Kings have their own young player that they're developing as prudently as they can in Keegan Murray. How has Paolo emerged, and how is his evolution of as a leader with the Magic? How is that progressing?
Well, it's been amazing. They all look to him, quite frankly. At the end of games, they look at Paolo. You know, he's not the most vocal guy on the team, but he is vocal. He talks to guys. He keeps them going, keeps them engaged. He's talking during timeouts, and they look to him to lead them. You know, he said a couple of weeks ago, we had him on a postgame show, and he said, it's kind of my job to go out and get a big bucket late. That's what I have to do. So he accepts that, but he doesn't want to be a high volume shooter, go out and take every shot. You know, so that's been the big progression from last year to this year. When do I get mine? When do I help the team when they need it? And when do I get guys going? And, you know, he's done a terrific job. His last 7 or 8 games, the numbers that he's putting up, only Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo are putting up in his last 7 games. So almost 27 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. So he's figuring it out. He's getting a lot of attention. He's number 1 in bold letters up atop of every opposing team's scouting report. And he's trying to navigate through that, but he's become a better 3-point shooter. He's become more vocal, and he kind of understands how big he is, which sounds crazy. You guys will see him tonight. He's 6'10", but he looks even bigger than 6'10". And he's kind of realizing he can go through people, around people, maybe not through Sabonis, but most bigs he can go through and around. And I think he's figuring that out. So it's been great to see. And he's carried. He's absolutely carried this team. And if he's 1A, Franz Wagner is 1B. Those guys are right there. Their numbers are almost identical. And they've been huge, and they both excel at finishing around the basket, which has been great.
Yeah, I was doing my research, Dante, and those two guys averaging better than 20 points per game each. First Orlando Magic teammates to do that since Shaq and Penny back in the day. And so that shows you how good they are. You know, when you look at the job Jamal Mosley has done, I think he has to be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. And I know he worked with Mike Brown for a season out there in Cleveland. And one thing Mike says is that Jamal just has a presence about him. When he walks into the room, the way he interacts with players, he has this presence. What can you tell us about Coach behind the scenes and how he's relating to players and getting them to perform at a high level?
He's awesome, Kyle. He's the best. I thought Rick Carlisle said it best. That's great for Mike Brown, but I thought Rick Carlisle said it best when we hired Jamal from Dallas. He said, I always felt when Jamal got the job, his players wouldn't let him fail. And I thought that was, to me, the biggest compliment you can pay a coach, is that his team will run through a wall for him. And I think that's what we've seen. He's got a great, unique ability to draw up a game plan that's best for the team, helps the team win. You know, they had 34 wins last year. That was plus 12 from the year before. That was the biggest jump in the Eastern Conference. So he came up with a game plan and a style and a role for everybody that was good for the team because they had team success. But he's also helping individuals along the way. And I think the best example is probably Cole Anthony. You know, you're asking Cole Anthony, who's coming off a career year 2 years ago, to last year go off the bench. You know, we need you to be our sixth man, kind of get us going. And, you know, guys don't love coming off the bench when they've been starting. But he accepted that, and he excelled at it, and he got the big payday this summer. So I think if I'm a player for Jamal Mosley, I'm looking at it like he's got the team's best interest at heart, but he's got my best interest. He's going to allow me to excel and to grow and to have success in this league, but he's going to do what's best for the team. So they've completely bought in. I think they understand we have to be a defensive first team, but he doesn't. You know, when you're struggling, he's not down on you. He's not yelling at you. He's cheering guys on. He went to He went to Dubai. He went to Abu Dhabi. I mean, he followed Paulo around the entire summer. He's been to Germany to be with the Wagners. He's gone to Georgia to be with Batase. I can't even find, not the state, the country. I couldn't even find it on the map if I had to. But he's been there. And so I think buy in, there's a trust factor. They love him. They run through a wall for him. I think all those factors are why these guys play so hard for him.
Dante, I love the Magic, really do. Looking forward to seeing him tonight. Big Franz Wagner guy. But I'm just wondering, after the game he had and the shot he made last season against Orlando, does just the mere mention of De'Aaron Fox's name send shivers down the spines of Orlando fans?
It does. It sure does. It's from 31 feet, no less. My goodness. That happened right in front of me. And so he's got 34 at the time, and you're thinking the one guy you can't let get a shot off is that guy. And he walks right into an open 31-footer. Yeah, I'd be fine if he had an off night, but we haven't seen many. We haven't seen many of those from him.
Yeah, it should be exciting tonight. You know, you guys one of the best defensive teams. You know, when I look at the Magic, I'm trying to figure out who's the heart and soul, because I know Cole Anthony. He plays with that edge. He plays with that heart. But I think people are sleeping on Jalen Suggs and just how important he is to you guys. Can you speak to just his development as a leader, as a competitor that you see out there on the floor?
Oh, he is the absolute ultimate competitor. I think they're all competitors and they all fight so hard, but this is a guy that will run through a brick wall, literally. I mean, I think he leads the league in floor burns, headbutts, tackles. I mean, he only knows he's got that football mentality. You know, he won a high school championship in football and basketball, so he's got that mentality. He could have played Division I college football too, but so he plays with a reckless abandon. The problem is, if you do that too much, you're not on the floor. And that, you know, the last 3 years, it's been hard to keep him on the floor. But this year, he's only missed 3 games. So he's been healthy. He's been staying out there. And he's kind of figuring things out. What's been a surprise for him, too, has been the offense. And we have not expected. He leads the team in threes made, Jalen Suggs. And he has been under 30% three-point shooter in his career. So that's been a huge jump, is the offense that we're getting. But he has a connection with the home fans. And, you know, every team has that guy, right, that revs up the crowd, and he's pumping, he's waving his arms and high-fiving people after he dives on the floor. They love him. They absolutely love him in Orlando. And the rest of the team follows suit. Yeah, look at a guy like Goga and Wendell. You know, they've said a couple of times this year, that guy's a dog. The guy's a dog out there. And when he's playing as hard as he is, shame on me if I let someone walk right down and lay it in, you know, as hard as he's playing. So it's contagious. That kind of style is contagious. And he's absolutely been the heart and soul of the defense, no question about it. And he is. He's certainly one of the leaders on this team as well.
Dante, before we let you go here, I'm just curious, you know, the second night of back-to-backs have been rough for the Kings this season. How have the Magic fared on the second night of back-to-back so far this season?
Yeah, 2-5 in the second night of back-to-backs. It's been hard as well. And I think for a young team, it's, you know, trying to figure that out. But, you know, this is the shortest distance we've had to travel for the second night of a back-to-back. So that was nice, an hour-and-a-half bus ride up from Golden State yesterday. But, you know, typically it's not usually been fatigue. It's usually been the opponent. We've just run into a buzzsaw. You play a home game against Philadelphia, and then the next night you're in Milwaukee. You know, I mean, that's not an easy job, you know. And then Sacramento, you know, and everybody complains about how difficult their schedule is, but they have had some oddities this year, and this is, you know, nobody wants. You'd rather it be the other way. You'd rather have the fresh legs and run around with Sacramento on the first night of a back-to-back than have to chase them down here on the second night. And Charlotte did us. So we saw, you know, Steve Clifford used to coach us, and they stayed the night. So I saw Cliff in the lobby, and I said, Cliff, you did us no favors last night. You know, we're going to be walking into a buzzsaw tonight for sure. But and it's been a hard place for us to play anyway out here in Sacramento. But they're ready. The thing about Jamal Mosley and this young group, you know, they're the 4th or 5th youngest team in the NBA. So they'll be ready. They'll be ready to go. And they're in every game, which is great. But, you know, they're just trying to find a way to navigate these hostile environments and try to pull out wins on the road. Where now you're not catching teams off guard. You know, Sacramento will be ready, but this Magic team is battle tested a little bit here of late too, and they're desperate and they're feeling it. As you mentioned, 3-7 in their last 10, and they don't want to go over on this West Coast trip. Yeah. So this is a huge one here tonight.
Dante Marchitelli, thank you very much for your time. We know you're busy, especially on a game day. We appreciate it. Have a great call tonight. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right, Dante. See you, man. All right, now.
When we come right back to the Golden One Center, why can't the Kings make free throws? And as bad as last night was, you know what? It could have been worse. That's next year with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRE3 Weather Center. Clouds will be clearing during the night tonight. There will be some fog tomorrow morning. Temperatures then will be down around 40. Look for sun and a few clouds tomorrow with highs in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRE3 News and the KCRE3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more about a COVID-19 vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Shop O'Reilly Auto Parts for do-it-right deals on motor oil, wiper blades, and more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
There's been a lot of talk shows on Twitter, people wondering, hey, that loss last night for the Kings to Charlotte, was that the worst loss of the year? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. What difference does it make? But things could always be worse. I don't know why, Kyle, but I was reminded of this last night watching the game here. And I was thinking of long ago, a really bad loss by the Kings to the Charlotte Hornets. And I just tweeted this. I was reminded of this game. Let me show you the score. This was from January of 1991, and the Hornets were pretty much a brand new team.
Yeah.
Kings went in there, and Charlotte beat them 101-59.
59?
Yeah.
What?
I was asking people last night, you remember that game? And people were looking at me like, Are you out of your mind? What?
It happened.
They scored how many? What? Yeah.
The good old days, right? Oh, man.
So things could always be worse.
Yes.
Right?
It could be worse.
Yeah. The Kings right now are still in good shape overall. But why can't they make free throws? Why can't the Kings make free throws? What are we going to do?
That's a big time conundrum, man, because, when you look at it, and I'm going to pull up the numbers here. Dead last in free throws, right? That's where they stand.
Yeah.
And, for a team with Domantas Sabonis, power player, gets hit a lot. De'Aaron Fox, early in the season, got downhill, got to that should be a goal of theirs, a priority of theirs, because you expect them to get to the line a lot. And they're giving away points. It's almost like when they get up there, if it goes in, great. If it doesn't, great. Where's the focus at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it looks and how it appears. And it's an issue. We saw it last night. You got a 7-point game. You were 10 of 17 from the line last night.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I know Mike Brown talked about it. We're going to hear that sound. I think when you look at championship teams versus teams that still have a ways to go, championship teams lock in on everything. Turnovers, boxing out, second chance, fast break. Like championship teams, they try to check all the boxes. The Kings, for some reason, it's like they're giving away points at the free throw line. And you want me to, I'll toss to the Mike Brown. Jay, let's get that Mike Brown sound, because this is what he had to say last night about the free throws and the struggle from the line.
We're shooting the same amount, if not more, free throws this year than we did last year. We just got to have guys go up to the line and knock it down. Sometimes you worry, and again, I thought we were real loose tonight, and so maybe it might have been a mental thing tonight. I don't know, but obviously we're 30th in the league in free throw percentage, and so we're not doing a good job collectively with it. And maybe we got to shoot more than what we're shooting. We got to maybe stop practice, I guess, at times, just to shoot two in a row or 4 in a row or something like that to get the guys to try to lock in. Because right now, for us to be 30th with the shooters that we have on this team is not good.
Interesting.
Yeah, confounding too, because you look at the numbers, Kyle, and last night the numbers of free throw shooting, 10 of 17, that's bad. But nobody was horrible. Some, Keegan's 1 for 2. Fox was 5 for 8, which is not good, but it's not horrible. 0 for 1. Sabonis. So it was kind of a group. Everybody was just kind of underwhelming, and ultimately as a team they were bad, and that's just kind of the way they were last night.
I'm looking at the best teams in the NBA and where they shoot.
They're shooting in the 800s, right?
Yeah, OKC 85%, Sixers 84.2, and the Sixers are getting there 27 times a game. They get there more than anybody. Joel Embiid, he's averaging 10, 11, 12 free throws a game. Meanwhile, the Sacramento Kings, I think, are 21st in terms of attempts. And so when you don't get there a whole lot, they're 18th, excuse me. You don't get there a whole lot. You got to take advantage of the opportunities you do have. And, losing the game by 7 when you miss 7 free throws, all right, you're going to miss some.
Right.
But you should go 14 to 17, and that changes the complexion of the game down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know this was an issue last season as well, especially early in the year. As the year went on, I believe they got better. But no, it's dumbfounding, because Mike Brown said it. You got shooters on this team: Herter, Keegan, De'Aaron Fox now is a shooter, Malik Monk. You got guys that can make shots. HB,
yes.
But when they get to the line, it's like, and I need to look at the numbers, and I'll pull them up right here, the individual numbers, because I look at Domantas Sabonis as many times as he's getting to the line. Domas 65.7%.
Good shooters, really good shooters, should be able to make almost 75% with their eyes closed.
Right. 65.7. That's not going to get it done.
No,
that's not. Keegan's at 83.7. HB at 84. Very respectable.
Good. Yep.
Fox 71.6.
No bueno.
That he has to be better at that. I need that in that 78 to 80 range, especially because of who he is and how much he handles the ball and how many times he goes to the line. Malik Monk 89%, Kevin Herter 80%, and so they got good free throw shooters. That's what's so outside of De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, your two top guys. They have excellent free throw shooters, and I would start with those two guys. They got to be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The numbers last night for Sabonis and Fox, if you just quickly looked at the box score, and I know you spent hours poring over.
Yeah, I love the box score.
But if you glanced at it, you go, well, those two guys did their job, but they really didn't. I mean, overall, Sabonis and Fox really did not play well. They didn't do all the things that the Kings need those two to do well if they're going to win.
And I said the same thing after the Portland game when they combined to score 77 points. Everybody's like, well, those two guys showed up.
Yeah,
but they showed up on one end of the floor. What about the defensive lapses? And so, it's hard to win in this league when your star players don't play a complete game. Sure, you can get points, but you set the tone defensively also. Like, you got to be a star on both ends of the floor. And I think that's what we need to see from De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. We can't talk about free throw shootings. At least they can't when they're the two biggest culprits. You are star players. You handle the ball more than anybody else. You go to the line more than anybody else. Like, personally, that should be a priority for them, right? De'Aaron's worked on his three-point shooting. He's become excellent three-point shooter. Now he has to become an excellent free throw shooter. When you look at the best guards in the league, that's one thing they do.
Yep.
The Steph Currys, the James Hardens when he's at an elite level. Like, those guys get to the line so much, but then they make them. That's where De'Aaron, his next wave of development has to come in.
Those guys, especially Steph, when they miss a free throw, it's like, whoa.
Right, exactly.
What happened?
De'Aaron shooting 71%. It's crazy. And, his mom, Lorraine, in college, shot 93% from the free throw. Like, his mom was a bucket getter, could shoot free throws. I'm sure she's, drilled that into his head. But for some reason, it's not working out. 71%, if it was a center doing that a big, okay. But your point guard, it needs to be better.
And not to be negative, but what did you see as far as a reason why Domas may have turned the ball over last night a staggering 11 times?
Yeah. I saw a little bit of everything. I saw some passes were too hot. I saw
times it looked like the ball had too much air.
Yeah, right. Like, it was just like it's like as soon as it hit his hands, he had stone hands last night. A lot of the passes were in traffic too. Maybe he's trying to do too much as he's trying to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Some offensive fouls. It just was a comedy of errors when it comes to handling the ball last night for Domas. 11 turnovers. It's just that can't be for a guy that handles the rock. And we've seen star players like LeBron, high turnover games, but your center, Domantas Sabonis, it has to be better.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll be better tonight. It's going to be a real test for the Kings against a team that, according to their play-by-play announcer, the Orlando Magic are trying to be this year's Sacramento Kings.
Trying to sneak up and beat people and surprise people, but I think they got everybody's attention now.
Yeah,
they've had some good wins this season.
We're going to turn our attention to the 49ers when we come back here. Who plays, who doesn't for the 49ers this week? That's next from the Golden One Center with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
We're from Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La, 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 la.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Buy the latest gear, meet the experts, learn about fishing, hunting, boating, and off-roading. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet Store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating stories. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet Arch Supports from the Good Feet Store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Coming to you from the Golden One Center, Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason, getting ready for the Kings, the Orlando Magic tonight. I got to be careful because I'm sitting here next to Kyle, of course, and I got my box score next to him, and I should never put my box score anywhere near Kyle Draper because the box scores they're like your natural enemy or something. It's just like,
no, because that's low-hanging fruit. It's low-hanging fruit. Give me something different. Whitey, first of all, we're supposed to be experts. You and I, we cover sports for a living. We
Yes.
talk sports
Can
for
you
a
believe
living.
that? Yes.
I don't want to be Joe Fan in my grandma's basement. Oh, let me look up the box score and see what was wrong last night. No, we
Is that a shot at Freddie the Fan?
Yes, Freddie the Fan. Hopefully he doesn't appear tomorrow after tonight's game. No, but that's easy. That it's more nuanced than that. What happens in a basketball game? For instance, we talked about it earlier. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, 77 in Portland.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they had a great game. But not really when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
There's other stuff to look at instead of just points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
I forget which game it was, but I was watching, of course, you and Katie, and it was one game within the last couple of weeks. And I know she has different colored pens she uses on the box score and everything. And at halftime, you were going to the box score, and it might have been when you guys were wearing the Christmas sweaters, and you were like, "Oh, here's Katie and her box score."
I didn't say that, right?
You didn't.
I just had that look. You think
You definitely had the look and the tone a little bit.
Katie
Yeah.
loves her box score. She marks that thing up too. And I look at it, I'm like, how can you even read what you're writing there? Like, she got X's and O's and, color coordinated and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
the work of art.
Deep dives into that box score.
Yeah.
I glance at it, but, I will say I looked at the box score yesterday in the third quarter, and I was like, darn, Malik only played 5 minutes. Like, I didn't even compute that while watching. So, yes, the box score can help you right then and there. But don't come at me the following day. Oh, Harrison Barnes was 0-3. He's the reason why we lost the game. No, it's much more than what's showing up in the box score.
Yes. I'm just going to keep my box score over there, safe over there. Speaking of numbers, as we speak, here are Brock Purdy's numbers.
You had to go there, Brock.
With one game to go. Brock Purdy he has thrown for 4,280 yards, and he has 31 touchdown passes, both second in the NFL. Will he have a chance to improve on those numbers? Well, Kyle Shanahan said today, nope. Here's Kyle Shanahan on his plans to play who at quarterback this week?
No, Brock's the only guy for sure. No, I don't plan on playing.
What went into that decision?
One, you only can rest 7 guys if nobody's hurt. If you get 2 practice squad guys up, we have at least 6 guys injured right now. So I only know for sure we can rest 1 and someone with our starting quarterback.
Brock's the only guy for sure I don't plan on playing Kyle Shanahan. That's the right move.
No, that's definitely the right move. You want your starting quarterback healthy for the playoffs. I mentioned having 3 weeks off and rust and everything. I don't think that'll happen with Brock Purdy. I mean, we saw what happened when he got hurt last season. That derailed their Super Bowl hopes.
Sure did.
So it's the right move. Let me ask you this, because I'm going to go there. And it's not a deep dive discussion. If Sam Darnold comes out and plays phenomenal, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, not saying he's a starter, but does that sort of, give me a little ammunition that Brock –
no.
Okay. I'm just wondering. Like, if we throw Sam Darnold and he looks MVP worthy, then.
Well, as the Rams have already clinched a spot, too. So this game's pretty meaningless on both sides.
So they might be going against.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
So it's almost like a glorified preseason game.
So this isn't an opportunity for a guy to, grab some minutes like in the NBA, like Keon Ellis against Houston or anything like that. Like, if Sam Darnold plays well, we can't extrapolate, Sam Darnold's, he's a good quarterback. I'm just asking.
Well, it's big for him because he's going to be a free agent in March.
And he might get
this is maybe his last, he came to the 49ers thinking, I don't know about Brock Purdy, if his arm's even going to hold together. And if his elbow doesn't heal, I'm going to be the guy. Hasn't worked out. So now he's going to be a free agent in March, unrestricted. So the 49ers give him a chance. Like, all right, we're going to rest our guy. Here's your chance to show other teams what you can do.
Yeah.
And you got to take it with a grain of salt if you're another team, given the circumstances, but still he'll have a chance to do something and show somebody something. There are going to be teams looking for quarterback.
No, you're right. You're
Eagles,
right.
maybe. I don't know.
No, we know that's not the case. They may be looking for a coach, but not a quarterback. But, so no Brock Purdy. Who else would you rest? CMC because of the calf.
Christian McCaffrey strain will also rest. And then I would think
Debo?
Trent Williams.
Trent for sure, yeah.
But they haven't said that for sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a dicey situation with his ankle. I know Matt Barrows today in The Athletic was saying he probably will, if he plays at all, just be a little bit. So,
Well,
yeah. And then you got some members of the secondary, too, that you probably
real quick, fellas, also within that PC, just to kind of heads up, and he spoke about it real fast right there. Yeah. They have 6 guys who are on the actual injured list. Yeah. Trent is not listed as one of those. And so Purdy is the 7th, and that's what Shanahan was kind of explaining. Shanahan also, though, said, Drapes, he was like, I pretty much plan to play guys as quick as possible. So, like, I'm going to get them in for a half of a quarter, and they're out of there. And then they asked him about Trent, and he was like, listen, if Jalen is available, then he'll play, or if Banks is available, then Trent won't. But if they're not, then Trent's going to have to play. He has to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody's got to play over there. Yeah. Jalen Moore is still, I think he's still in concussion protocol. So
yes, he is.
Still clearing that. But the plan would be, definitely in a perfect world, everything goes the way they hope. Trent Williams will be watching.
Yeah. And the goal come this weekend is to just get out of there healthy, as healthy as right.
Yeah.
Like the score, the game, obviously you want to win if you're Shanahan, but
you'd like to,
it doesn't matter in the standings or anything like that. You clinch the number 1 seed. Health is the biggest priority. I do feel like, and you and Jay can chime in on this. If he rests all the big names, talking about Debo, Kittle, Trent, is there any concern that they will go 3 weeks in between games?
I think that concern is outweighed by the knowledge that they're not going to get hurt. It's like there's some concern there, but clearly of those 2 things, I'd rather deal with that, take that risk than the risk of playing them and then being without one of them,
getting hurt, right?
Playoffs, which is football, of course, can always happen.
Yeah, you're right. And I was looking at it. Other teams in the NFC, and I'm talking about contenders, they still have some. Eagles still have something to play for. Dallas still has something. Dallas hasn't clinched the division yet.
Yeah,
like
Dallas just has to be Washington. Right?
Yeah, they just got to get a win. And so those other teams will be playing their stars, trying to win games. I would imagine. So San Francisco is going to have the luxury not only of having the extra week because of the bye, but in essence, this weekend's game against the Rams is sort of like a bye for the star players as well. So they will be well rested for that Super Bowl push.
And as we were saying yesterday, and I forget where I read this, but it's true, essentially the first round bye, it's almost like the 49ers have already won a playoff game.
Yeah.
It's like they
advanced.
Yeah. It's a huge advantage. And it's one that, given the state of the roster, I mean, look at all the guys right now they have that are banged up. I think they needed it. I think it was essential. And they would have said, you got to win any way we can. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if they could have really realistically won a Super Bowl if they'd had to play the extra playoff game.
Extra game.
Yeah.
That's
you never know.
For any team, too. I mean, that's a tough road. You talk about my Philadelphia Eagles. Let's say in game 1, I got to pull up the standings. Who would they have to play? Probably on the road against, probably NFC South.
Yeah, probably Tampa, the way it's shaping up.
Yeah. Not a tough, but then maybe you got to go to San Francisco and then to Dallas or Detroit or something. Like, that's a tough road to have to go on the road for every single game. And so, no, you're right, man. It's, the Niners are clearly in the driver's seat. They have the easiest path. And, whether you're Dallas, Detroit, whoever, it's going to be a tough road to hoe to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you just brought it up. Who will the 49ers face in their playoff opener? We will peek at those possibilities, and there's some tasty possibilities. Next, from the Golden One Center, to Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root op with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & and price.
It's a new year, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a new heating and air special. It's a 2023 equipment blowout with prices on complete heat and air systems starting at just $8,995. If you have a high quote from another company, call the Good Guys for a free second opinion on repairs and replacement. Don't trust the other guys until you've called the Good Guys. Save 30% on the cost of your home's heating and cooling with proper attic insulation. For a no-cost estimate, call 530-GOOD-AIR or check them out online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057-618.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
YouTube chat, comment of the day nominee here from Compio. Good to hear from you, Compio. Happy New Year. Katie's box score is great for the fans. I think so.
Compio enjoys it. Then he's when I said called us experts, question mark he asked. So I don't know if Compio's our guy or is he hating on us? I don't know.
He's just having fun.
Okay, is that what it is? All right.
Right.
Tell Ray Allen I said hi, by the way. Compio. Yeah, he knows everybody, right?
Yeah, he does. And Magic Johnson.
Magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Katie, it's if you haven't seen it, because she tweets those too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she tweets it out.
Circles the important things and underlines different colors. It's great.
It's her way of showing the fans, hey, these are the things I'm paying attention to. These are the things I see. And you can see it on the box score. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the box score. I'm not going to deep dive into it like she is. That's just me. I'll tell you the stats and the numbers. And yes, Compio, I'm on the call tonight. And so I constantly look at it because it's part of my job. But in terms of analysis the next day, I can't, it's not that.
I'll tell you what I love about box scores.
All right, what you love?
I found that a basketball box score, there is almost always at least one number in a box score, an NBA box score, that makes you go, whoa. One number somewhere in there. There's one thing that jumps out at you. And I mentioned that to, Jerry Reynolds, who's seen a few box scores. And I said, that's the way it seems to me. And he goes, oh, I agree. And I thought,
really?
Wow, yeah. There's always one thing, and it might just be something you go, well, that's the key to the game, or just something where you go, I didn't realize. Right. Malik Monk played how many minutes?
Yeah.
But to me, there's always one thing in there. It's like, whoa, I didn't know that. Or that, well, that's what the game came down to.
Excuse me. Yeah. And even the Domantas Sabonis turnovers, like I knew he had a lot, but I looked at 11. God.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
11? What?
Yeah.
Something like that. Or points in the paint, fast break, those kind of stats too. No, you're right. But let me ask you this. And I know we're going to talk about some other things.
No, it's fine.
Did Domas have a good game or a bad game yesterday?
Overall, he had an okay game, and it looked like he played better than. What did Deuce say last night, RJ? Domas had the worst double-double I've ever seen. It's
he was 11 of 21 from the field, 19 rebounds, 23 points. Looking at the box score, that looks great.
You got to look at the whole thing.
And then he had the 11 turnovers to go with it.
Right, and he had 5 fouls, and they didn't do as well when he was on the floor.
But if you ignored those numbers and you just watched the game, I would argue you probably didn't think Domas had a good game because the turnovers, the sloppy play would have stood out.
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying about the box score. You can't necessarily just only, look at that.
I agree with that. It's like the analytics in whatever sport. Like you look at them, but if you're going to say, well, that's it, that's the be-all, end-all, then you're just not looking at the whole picture. Let's take a look at the whole picture here on who the 49ers could play in their first playoff game. It's going to be hard to wait for this, right?
Yeah.
This game this week. By the way, once again, salute, props to Jason Ross. He's the only person I know of who, before the season started, said, oh, the Rams will be a playoff team. And I didn't, I like J. Ross, so I didn't laugh in his face, but deep down I thought, yeah, right.
Right?
And here they are.
Here they
so
are.
Well played.
Yes.
So the 49ers could play, and Emil has a look at this at SactownSports.com. Well done, Emil. They could play the number 7 seed, which right now would be the Packers.
Okay.
It's unlikely. The Packers, what they would have to do is they would have to clinch, and then they would, if they if they, let's see, they win this week, they beat the Bears, then it would be on to win a wild card weekend, then the 49ers would probably play them.
Yeah.
The number 6 seed, the LA Rams. The Rams have already clinched the 6th seed, so they could see the 49ers in what would be round 2 for them, round 1 for the 49ers. Depends. They would they would see either the Cowboys or the Lions on wild card weekend. So the Rams would have to beat one of those teams. Could happen, but it's unlikely. The number 5 seed, could the 49ers be taking on in their first playoff game the Philadelphia Eagles?
They don't want that in their first playoff game.
The Eagles have the 5 seed right now. Says Emil, looking like a shell of themselves the last 6 weeks. Philly is reeling at the moment, but with their playoff position, they would face the winners of the NFC South on Wild Card Weekend. That is currently Tampa Bay, a team that just got demolished by New Orleans in a must-win contest. So the Eagles, if they beat Tampa Bay, we could end up with Philadelphia going to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
That would be the worst possible scenario for the San Francisco 49ers. Let's be honest.
Wouldn't be so great for your team either.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. But you know what? You get through them, and then, you got the confidence back. You got the swagger back. We could go into Dallas then and beat up on Dallas. I think the Eagles still have a shot at winning the division. I'm not 100% sold on the Cowboys this week because they always seem to collapse in the biggest of moments. But out of all those teams you listed, Eagles, Rams, Bucks, Packers, the Eagles have to be the one team you don't want to see, right? Because they have the potential. They have a higher ceiling than I think all the other potential matchups.
Maybe, but the Eagles' problems, especially defensively, have been so noticeable. They're like the Philadelphia cream cheese, their defense.
Oh, it's like that now.
I mean, it is.
Okay,
It just has been. We kid, but it has. It's been really bad. If if that's not something they can bounce back from, then you wouldn't mind playing them the first round, get them out of the way.
I say bring it on. I would welcome that if I'm Philadelphia. One team to keep an eye on. Can the Saints still get the division? I believe so. The Saints would be a tough matchup because they have a good defense. Their defense is legit. Saints are flying under the radar a little bit. Their defense is legit.
Tampa Bay, though, it could happen. Tampa Bay, they only need to beat the Panthers on the road in Week 18.
Yeah,
So
they can. Yeah,
The Saints
Worst
need
team
to
in
beat
the
the
league.
Falcons, and Tampa needs to lose.
yeah,
Right.
Tampa's probably not going to lose to Carolina. Although I heard Baker Mayfield is he's a little banged up.
Yep.
So Tampa Bay would face the number 5 seed in the NFC in round 1. Likely they'd be the Eagles, and then if they did win, if they beat Philly and no lower seed wins, then it could be
Seattle needs a
Tampa
lot
Bay.
of help though, right? To get it, and like they need.
They do.
They need Green Bay to lose.
They
Yeah.
need Green Bay to lose.
Yeah. Green Bay currently is in the last spot. They have a 60% chance to clinch the postseason. They need to beat the Bears in Week 18, which is no guarantee.
No guarantee.
Yeah. And the Seahawks and the Saints are both still in play. And you know how crazy things get.
Man,
last
the
week of
Eagles
the
got to
season.
find a way to get the win the division, man. We need the Cowboys to lose. And this game against the Giants is not a. I'm not going to mark it down. Not after the way
What
the
happened?
Eagles lost to Arizona. Like this is on the road in New York. Remember they lost to the Jets in New York earlier this season. So this is a tough matchup. With that being said, if I'm Philly, I'd welcome a week 1 of the playoffs against Tampa Bay. I feel like you can go beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would be a good way to kind of get everything
start
back
things.
on
Yeah,
track, feel
exactly.
good about yourselves.
Right.
But, given that the 49ers could play the Rams in the first round for the 49ers of the playoffs, this game, neither team, the Rams or the 49ers, they don't want to show the other team anything. They're going to play their reserves. It's going to be an almost totally meaningless game.
And the Rams are, if I'm correct, pretty much locked into that position too. If I'm correct,
They are locked into the 6th spot.
Yeah, they're locked into the 6th spot. So yes, they have nothing to gain. So no reason to
They'll
show
be playing
anything.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Or they could play the Lions, I think.
Yeah, it's Detroit.
According to Emil. Yeah.
Yeah, Lions. It's looking like because
Dallas or Detroit.
Yeah, and because if Dallas wins, they win the division and they still own the tiebreaker over Detroit. If Philly wins, I think Philly, same thing. They would own, and Philly wins the division. They would own the tiebreaker over Detroit, I believe. So I think Detroit's locked into that 3.
Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment, obviously, for the 49ers. Plus, it's just what they were pretty upfront about. They were aiming for all year, and when you make it clear this is what we're going for, you want to do that, or else you've already failed before the playoffs even start.
Is the NFC weaker than you thought it was? Like, did you think, like, I know Niners fans thought they would be the number 1 seed, but
there's
every other NFC team has some holes. Like, if you were to list Super Bowl favorites, it would be San Fran, and I'm talking both conferences, Baltimore, and then you might go 2 or 3 other AFC teams before you get to a Dallas or Philly, in my opinion.
Yeah, like Green Bay's a playoff team? What?
Right,
the Rams,
right.
good for them, but I didn't think they were that good. And
I just feel like the NFC is pretty weak right now.
And if I'm being honest, the fact that your team has really fallen off is one of the things that makes the conference appear pretty weak right now.
Yeah, I was saying all season long, the Niners and Eagles, they were on a collision course. Like, they weren't playing against other teams in there. They were keeping an eye on each other.
It was like in the old days of the NBA, the way the Lakers and Celtics were.
Exactly. That was their competition. The Eagles, they're not even on that level right now. And I can honestly say that. I'm a realist. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it, or my team's going to, they are reeling right now.
What
and
do you think
hearing,
happened?
Well, you're hearing A.J. Brown's not happy. You heard, heard comments a couple of weeks ago after the game. Everybody's not on the same page. Calls for Sirianni to be fired. Like,
secondary is just abysmal.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's an Eagles fan. He's in the business, and he said, "I can't wait for this season to come to an end soon enough." Like, it has been the most disappointing season in recent memory to be an Eagles fan, because on paper, all the talent is there. Everything is there. But this is one of those, something has to change. Somebody has to go. It's been a disappointment.
So give us your prediction. The 49ers in their first playoff game this year will face?
That's a great question.
What do you think, Jay?
I'm going to go Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles?
I think Philadelphia Eagles, yep.
I'm going Detroit.
I think they're going to end up playing, let's go Rams.
Oh, you think the Rams beat Detroit?
That could happen, or Dallas.
Yeah, you guys are great. Okay.
49ers and Rams, the ancient rivalry renewed in Santa Clara. Yeah, 49ers going to win. Doesn't matter.
I know they're going to win.
Right?
Come on, right?
Win. I would love to see the Eagles. That'd be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. But when we come back, who else is going to have a lot of fun this offseason? Former 49er coach Jim Harbaugh. So one more football segment here. If you were Jim Harbaugh, Kyle Draper, would you jump back into the NFL, and where would you go? That's next from the Golden One on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma.
I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing to keep the Grinch away from the toy drive.
Who's going to deliver the toys to the kids?
What about me, the Grinch?
No.
Yep, even easier than that.
You steal the presents one time.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One NA, member FDIC. Copyright Dr. Seuss Enterprises. Copyright Turner.
Coming to you from the Golden One Center. Kyle Draper, you got play-by-play duties tonight, right?
Yeah, man, excited. Did a deep dive into the Orlando Magic. Should be a fun game. They're banged up a little bit. No Markelle Fultz, no Jonathan Isaac, so they got some injuries, but should be a fun one, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kings fans need to win tonight. Kings need to win. Kings fans are really having a hard time today.
You know what? I saw a bunch of them leaving the building last night, and they were yelling and screaming at me, Drapes, do you believe this? This is, like I was the most level-headed one in the building last night, which is saying something. We need this one tonight.
You painted yourself into a corner yesterday.
I did. Usually after a loss like that, I want to capture the emotion of the fan. That's my philosophy when I do these post-game shows, is capture the emotion of the fan. As I was about to do the post-game show, I said to myself, darn, I went on the radio earlier today and told Kings fans to chill.
Right.
I said, take it easy.
No matter what happens tonight, you said.
I said, we could lose tonight's game.
And I said, they better not lose tonight.
No, we ain't losing this game. And sure enough, we lost. So I was like, I can't be the one yelling and screaming. And, I can't. I said, everything's going to be all right. Now, if you come back and win tonight, and I told you went 1-1 against Orlando and Charlotte, not the best, but you take that. Okay. All right, we're 1-1 on this homestand so far. And so because they lost last night, tonight becomes that much more important.
I just feel that the loss to Portland and then the loss last night, you lose to two bad teams that were shorthanded, kind of leaves a mark. So, yeah, if they win tonight, that's great. But I think the Kings have had so many mystifying games this year that they're beyond the point where, okay, well, you flush those because, you have a nice win in the next game. So something has to be done, I think, for this team to be better. It has to be addressed. What happened last night, as the High Flyer said last night, has to be addressed one way or the other. Lineup change, I don't know. You go out and make a trade. Maybe you take more risk than you were willing to take in the trade market before. I don't know, but something has to be addressed because, that is – I understand what you're saying, but that was a mystifying loss last night.
Mystifying loss, bad loss. I want to do something different coming up here, Whitey. Indulge me, if you will.
You got it.
Because I'm seeing all these so-called experts, all these guys with answers out there about what the Kings need, who they should trade, who they should get. I need to hear from them. 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines. Not this segment. Next segment, maybe in the 5 o'clock hour, because we can sit here and talk about, oh, they need to go out there and get DeJounte Murray. We need to go out there and get P.J. Washington, all these trades. We got experts on social media. This phone is, I'm going to have to throw it away, man, because every time we lose, I run to it, I look and see, and everybody got an opinion.
Are you
all
gonna,
right, smart Kings fans, what should the team do?
Are you going to listen to people? You know, sometimes I think
if they come with some bull crap, I'm not.
Then they get scared to call.
Hey, you know, because what winds up happening is people are all brave on social media and things like that. Well, put a name to it, like you say on the text line.
Put your name on it.
Now's your chance to put your name on it, Kings fans. What do you want to happen? How disappointed are you? You can listen to me and Whitey talk all night long. We can talk, trust me. But I'm done. I see what you guys are saying behind the screens, behind your little phones, on your YouTube, on the tablet, on the YouTube chat. Put your name on it. Don't come with no screen name,
all right,
or nothing like that. That's next segment, or maybe even tomorrow. You know, we can have a venting session or something like that.
The way things are going, we can, you know, obviously there's a couple segments there.
Yeah.
We 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll talk Harbaugh here, but let me know, Jay. Did you say we have a caller already? Ramsey, thank you.
We'll get to you, Ramsey. Hold on. That's the next segment. I want to talk Harbaugh because I got some takes on John Harbaugh.
Okay. So we'll get to you top of the hour to figure out where we go with the Kings here. As far as Coach Jim Harbaugh, you know, Harbaugh now getting ready for the national championship game, right? He's got Michigan to the national championship game against Washington. Yeah, Pac-12. Yeah, let's go Pac-12. Anyway, he also has from the University of Michigan, here you go, Coach. Here's a 10-year extension for you. You can have this. Hasn't signed it yet. Is he going to come back to the NFL? He could. So if you're Jim Harbaugh, do you jump back into the NFL? Do you stay at Michigan? You've got, among teams looking for jobs, you got the Los Angeles Chargers. You got San Diego ties. Excuse me. You do have San Diego ties, but you have Charger ties.
Yeah, Chargers.
They don't have San Diego ties anymore. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. You have Raider ties. Carolina could be looking for a coach. A number of other teams could. But if you're Coach Harbaugh, what are you doing? Which way are you leaning right now?
I think depending on the setup in the NFL, who's your quarterback? Who's your GM? Are you the one shopping for the groceries? And do you win a national championship with Michigan this year?
So you're waiting to see what happens there?
I'm waiting to see what happens there. I think right now I would be leaning to the NFL. The sanctions, the issues off the court, off the field, you know, this may be the best it can get at Michigan.
Now, I don't know about it looked like if you wanted the Raider job a few weeks ago, you could have had it. But now
I think Pierce has done enough to earn that job. Yeah.
But the Charger job is probably one you could get. They got cap issues, but they've got talent, and you want a quarterback.
You got a quarterback. I would. What were the other teams you said? Chargers, yes.
Raiders, Carolina. You know, Washington probably is going to be in the mix.
No, I think the Chargers job is probably the best of the bunch right there. And you know they're going to back up the Brinks truck.
I think so.
Like it's going to be
right.
I don't know what the number is, but they're going to make it well worth your while.
Right. And they'd have to because you could say, look at this extension I got from Michigan. I could sign that right now. You have to beat that by a lot.
Beat that.
Yeah.
And what's that extension? Is that $10 million a year? I forget what the
I have to check the numbers.
Extension. Yeah. I think
it's lucrative. I'll say that.
I think it's time for Jim Harbaugh to come back to the NFL, especially if Michigan wins it. You know, given everything that happened this season in terms of, you know, Spygate or whatever you want to call it, you know, videotaping and having somebody on the sideline, whatever his role in it was, he's been through a lot this season and last season, remember. And so I just think he's at his peak right now. He could name his job when he comes into the NFL. The Chargers, to me, are a team that's, you know, on the cusp. They just need
a
him. Coach, right?
Chargers need
him.
And history suggests if you get him, it's not like he's going to be in the NFL with one team for a long time. He tends to burn out. But what he did with San Francisco anyway is he had a lot of success early on. And if you're Harbaugh, you look at that. Yeah, as I said, they have cap issues, but they got talent there. And it's kind of similar to what the 49ers were when he arrived there. It's like, there's a lot of talent here. This is an underperforming team.
Yes.
I could do nothing and they will win more games and I'll look like a genius if I do nothing. So it's a great situation for a new coach.
A great situation. And, you know, it's not Washington, which has been a dumpster fire.
Right.
Well, you know, they're cursed. Something's going on there. Carolina, too much to overcome. Like, you got too far to go to bring them
Did you think the owner was disciplined enough? $300,000 fine for throwing drink on somebody?
No. That's an ultimate no.
Yeah.
Like, you're one
Some
of the
people think
faces
you
of
got
the
off
NFL.
lightly there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, you know, a season ban or half a year ban or something like that would have been more. You know, money is.
You know how the NFL is, though, and I agree with you, but the NFL is they like to slot things. Well, for this offense, you get fined this much. And I think it was Bud Adams when he owned the Oilers. He flipped off some fan once, and they fined him $250,000. So they're like, okay, well, that's like that. So $300,000 fine.
Well, and when was Bud Adams fined $250,000?
It was
long ago, right? So $250,000 back then is probably like it should be $1 million at least. You know, $300,000. No, I think that's one of the worst. You know.
But see, some people say, hey, the NFL, if you do something that affects the other owners, they will come down hard on you.
Right.
You do something that affects the fans,
it's
slap
not.
on the wrist.
Yeah, it's well, because Roger Goodell and company, they work for the owners.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and so you know, that's what that's about. But in terms of, you know, Harbaugh and the opportunities, like I said, I think now's the time to jump ship at Michigan. They're favored to win and beat Washington on Monday. You can write your price, and the Chargers job is a good job, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they need you. There's a need there. It's a perfect storm for Coach Harbaugh. He's a strange guy, man.
Yeah.
He's a strange guy. Good coach.
Yeah. But, you know, the NFL is different, I think, than the NBA. You know, unless you're Nick Saban, you know, you're at that level where you're the most powerful man in the state. You're going to win every year. You're going to be like Alabama shouldn't have been in the conference college football playoff this year, but because it's Alabama, because it's you know, Nick Saban. Whereas when you look at the NBA or college basketball, the Roy Williams, I'm going back, the Krzyzewskis, the Izzos, like those guys have built something.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make sense for them to go to the NBA.
It's institutional success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, whereas, you know, they all could have went. Like Mark Few, even at Gonzaga, could have been. But Harbaugh has had success already in the NFL. He knows if he goes to the right situation, he'll be successful again. And so I think he leaves after this.
I think it's good for the league, too. Especially, you know, the Chargers are just right now. So, and they need a jolt.
Yeah, they need a jolt.
Give them that.
And him there, they would become a factor.
When we come back, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. College Raper wants to know how you would fix things. Are you challenging people?
Yes, because everybody got an opinion and everybody's weighing in. Oh, Mike Brown got to do this, so you got to trade. I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to hear. Don't hide behind your keyboard.
Right. What would you do? And I also want to know, what about the loss last night? What troubled you the most about the loss last night? It's coming up here from the Golden One Centers. We get ready for the Kings and the Magic. Drive, guys, and your calls next. Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, 2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changers, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
And it's time for a Drapes Challenge at 339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. Kyle Draper wants to hear from Kings fans who have all these ideas on how to fix things on social media. He wants to hear it right from you.
It's ridiculous.
Put your name on it.
And it's my fault. It's my fault because you're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Twitter.
Yeah.
I still call it Twitter. I ain't going to call it that other thing.
Right.
They got this For You thing now, and it's sort of like a rabbit hole. It's a train wreck. You know, it's you start clicking on it, and then they show you things, and it just makes my blood boil. Some of these hot takes out there from so-called Sacramento Kings fans and sites and things like that. And I'm like, let's have a talk then. Let's hash it out. Don't just throw it out there behind, a hashtag or a name, an avatar and all that. Like, put your name on it. Tell me why you want to trade Harrison Barnes. Tell me why Kevin Huerter is not the answer. Y'all been dogging my guy, Chris Duarte. And so sometimes I get frustrated about that. And it's my fault. Like I said, I should not go to that section of Twitter. I should just stay in the safe. People I follow, people I'm cool with, people I like. But man, it's like a train wreck, man. You can't turn away.
Yeah, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Drapes wants to know how you would fix things. I would also like to know what about last night bothered you the most. What was it about that game last night? Because as I've confessed to Brother Draper here, I was just confused leaving the arena. It's like I don't understand it anymore. what's going on with his team. But how about you? Ramsey joins us here on Sactown Sports. Hello, Ramsey. What's up?
Not too much, gentlemen. I was actually trying to double back to one of the last segments about football for a minute.
That's all right.
Yeah, we can do that too, Ramsey. What you got?
And double back about Drake. I got love for the Eagles. I don't have a dog in the playoff fight, but I think it's going to be a tough road if the Eagles have to go on the road in that first game to whoever the NFC South champion is, because we've seen this before in the playoffs. We underestimate the teams that are at home with the worse record than the road wildcard team, and it's a home playoff game, and that home team shows up.
No, you're right. I hear what you're saying, Ramsey. Home field does matter in the NFL. My belief is that the Eagles, on their best day, and we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it a whole lot, but maybe it's because I'm biased and this is wishful thinking and hopeful thinking. I'm hoping come playoff time we'll see their best. I know it's a lot to ask, and I hear you. Going on the road is going to be tough no matter what. I'm just hoping that they'll get their act together and we'll see their best.
Yeah, neither one of those NFC East playoff teams wants to go on the road, whether it be Philly or Dallas loses.
No, you're 100% right, man. You are 100% right.
Thanks, Ramsey. Appreciate it. Ramsey said he didn't have a dog in the fight. I'll take him at his word. I did think I heard a little bit of an NFC South twang in his voice, a little bit.
Right.
I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Maybe it's from New Orleans to Tampa or something like that. You're right.
Glenn joins us on Sactown Sports. Hello, Glenn. Thanks for hanging. What's up?
Hello, fellows. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, what's up, Glenn?
Well, I wanted to talk about last night in my respect. I'm not a genius or a coach or anything like that, but it seemed like the coach was sending a message. His point guard, De'Aaron Fox, his shooting guard, they didn't show too much basketball smart because, Charlotte couldn't stop the inside. So why would you have a lead and shoot threes? You should be calling the play to get the ball down in the paint, run the clock, and you probably get some and ones in that. But let the other team take the ball out of the basket. That's just simple basketball. So that's what frustrated me last night.
All right, thanks, Glenn. Wanted the Kings to attack the basket more. They did only shoot 36 threes, which in today's NBA is not an especially high number. And that's below their target, isn't it?
Yeah. They want to be 40 to 45. And no, I hear you, Glenn. One of the things, and I'm not knocking De'Aaron Fox, it's taken me a while to get adjusted to this sharpshooter De'Aaron Fox. I'm so used to him getting into the paint, getting to the elbow and knocking down those jumpers. We had Michael Pina on earlier from the Ringer, and he said De'Aaron Fox has cut his long twos in half. I'm so used to seeing him take 2-point shots. It's taken me a while to get used to seeing him shoot so many 3-pointers a game.
Yeah, I did think the Kings looked like they might have had a little bit of an issue with Charlotte's size and athleticism under the basket.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, guys like Bridges, PJ,
even Nick
out
Richards.
there, Nick Richards, he's long. I mean, he's a big boy. And, that's one of the teams that, have caused some issue for Sacramento. And I feel like when I look at a guy like Bridges, who went off for 27 last night, he plays with a little force, a little power. We'll see that tonight in Paolo Banchero. Like, who's going to check Paolo? We didn't have anybody that could check Bridges last night. And Banchero's a better player. So I'm worried about that match. Is it Harrison Barnes? Is it Keegan Murray? Might we have to see some early Trey Lyles? And so that's a matchup I'm looking at tonight.
Your boy Campio on the chat. My Kings starting 5. Sabonis, Lyles, Len, Herter, and Fox. What do you think?
Huh?
My starting 5.
Hey,
Trey Lyles,
Station. Get this
Alex
dude.
Len.
Hold on.
Go big. Campio's going big. Herter and Fox. And then you got the big guys up front. Sabonis, Len, and Lyles.
Let me just say this. Sacramento Kings, we have found our mark. Light this dude up. He got Keegan Murray coming off the bench. Campio, I'm going to take your basketball card. You ain't going to be able to call. You ain't going to be able to be on the YouTube chat. You ain't going to be able to tweet us. I'm going to mute you on Twitter. You got Keegan Murray coming off the bench? Explain yourself. Come on, man. This is what I'm talking about.
He's also got Lyles coming off the bench, so I think he crossed himself up there. But
all right.
This is why, this I think is why some people might be less than willing to call because they're, Kyle Draper's gonna.
No, they can't light me up on social media and YouTube and text.
All right.
And then not give me an opportunity to fire back. Everybody's an expert. Everybody has these educated opinions and everything. I want to hear them. That's all. Look, don't let me be the only one putting my stuff out there for the world to hear. These guys can do it too. That's all I'm saying.
Right. What is the answer? What is a possible answer? Is a possible answer stay with what you're doing and it'll get better? It's not the answer anybody wants to hear. But is that a viable, reasonable answer?
First, we need to identify the problem. And let's take it player by player. Kevin Huerter. What's our issue with Kevin Huerter? He's not making shots.
Making shots, and he never was a very good defender. So when he's not making shots, yeah.
All right. So if we stick with him, historically, he's a good shooter, though, right?
Yeah.
Historically, he's a good shooter. So I would be more inclined to stick with him.
You mean as a starter?
As a starter.
Okay. Because right now he's not starting.
I would because he's not hitting shots.
Yeah.
And Mike Brown has given him a long time. But at some point, I think Mike Brown will go back to him because you need Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter was a big part of 48 wins last season.
He was rock solid last year.
Rock solid.
So was Barnes.
Now, the question is, did he forget how to shoot? Most times that doesn't happen, right? Like most times guys don't, I was talking to a former Stanford product, Casey Jacobson. We remember him. Lights out shooter. This was like last year. He said he still can go out there and shoot the ball. He can't do anything else. Run. So I still believe Kevin Huerter can shoot. He's just knocking down shots. Now let's have the conversation about Harrison Barnes. What's our issue with Harrison Barnes?
I think
inconsistency.
Yes, exactly what I was gonna say.
Now, that's not going to change. Harrison Barnes isn't going to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden become Mr. Consistent 18 points per game scorer. You know what I mean? And so now if you want to have a discussion, my thing about Harrison Barnes is we need to change our expectations because as the fifth starter, as the sixth option, you're not going to have consistency from that player. Now, if you say you want that, then you can have a conversation about moving him to the bench. I could argue, too, if you put Trey Lyles in there, Trey Lyles ain't going to be consistent. We see Trey Lyles coming off the bench. He's not consistent.
Doing a good job off the bench right now.
No, but he had 3 out of 4 games where he had 0 points, I think it was last week. Like, he was talk about a roller coaster. One game he had 0, next he had 8, and then he had 0. And so I just think it's the nature of the sixth option on your team. It's going to be inconsistent.
Let's get this call on real quick because we're up against a timeout. Richard joins us, Sactown Sports. Hello, Richard. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. I was just wanted to talk about the Kings, man. I think they're just a little immature, man. They need a veteran player, not like Harrison Barnes, to snap them back put them back in their place, while they're on the floor, like a floor general. They're inconsistent with their. With everything, they feel like an immature team,
Thank you. That gets back to people talk about veteran leadership. Maybe that's something the Kings could acquire. I'm not seeing that, Kyle, but people are talking about that.
No, I think not only veteran leadership, but also experience. Jokic in Denver didn't become champions overnight, and so we need to let Keegan develop into that lead. De'Aaron Fox, as great as he is, this is only his second year as on a playoff caliber team. So he's still learning. Domantas Sabonis, he's still this is all uncharted territory for these guys. And so, I do think veteran leadership, yes, but also you just got to let it time to marinate. Give it time to marinate too.
Yeah. Hey, we have a giveaway here. Give me a number if you would, Kyle. With 0 to 10. Anything goes.
Give me 6.
Caller 6. All right. Live Nation is teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to check out the hilarious Anthony Jeselnik at Hard Rock, Sacramento next Friday, January 12th. That's next Friday, January 12th. Caller number 6 right now, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Your chance to check out Anthony Jeselnik, Hard Rock Cafe next Friday. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. We are back with more from the Golden One here. Coming up, what can we expect from the Kings tonight? Do we have any idea? That's next year. Draper, Gleason, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you all the answers to what's wrong with the Kings. We have it all right here. It's the Drive Guys. Kyle Draper, he's got play-by-play tonight. NBC Sports California. And Whitey Gleason. I don't know, Kyle. I'd like to think I have some idea what's wrong, but overall, It's such a conundrum. It's such a mystery after last night. I still don't know how they lost that game last night. G-Man, how did they lose that game last night? G-Man's smart.
No, he's not. He don't want. Yeah, he don't want. He's seen enough.
He's learned not to sit here where all the YouTube people can spot him and say, "Hey,
there he is."
I didn't mean to bother you. I was just wondering.
I'm just going to tell you that I'm in concussion protocol for beating my head against the wall.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I get it, G-Man. I get it.
G-Man cannot join us because he's in concussion protocol for beating his head.
Yeah, I got my friend Kendra Douglas making her way up here. She's coming to say, I know it's a lot of steps. She's coming to sideline reporter for the Orlando Magic. I want to get her in for a couple of minutes here. But regarding last night, man, it was an old case of, you know what, we're good enough to turn it on at the end. And Matt Barnes said it on our post-game show. He said the Kings were like that old 68 Chevy or 78 Chevy. It's cold in the winter. You go to turn on the engine, and it just won't flip.
Right.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Kendra, you want to come on the radio show or no?
She's exhausted. She's exhausted.
All that workout you do, you should see this young lady on social media. Workout classes and everything.
I don't blame you.
No joke, right? I know
she's
you're tired.
Yeah.
Kendra Douglas. Come on, Kendra. Come sit down. I'm going to put you on real quick. Me and Kendra go way back. Throw on the headset. Kyle
We're
Draper,
on live right now.
Whitey
Hi, I'm
Gleason,
Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin
Very nice to
Gleason.
meet you.
We are. All right, I'm going to let you catch your breath here.
Yeah.
We take on the Orlando Magic here. Second night of a back-to-back for both teams. Sacramento has yet to win the second night of a back-to-back. And I thought last night's game was so important for us because I knew what was waiting ahead. You get last night. Tonight is going to be a tough one. I'm watching Franz Wagner out there warming up. You get last night. You come back out tonight against a tough Orlando team. But now, Kendra, and I texted you, I think this is a massive game for both these teams. Both these teams need a win.
I think it really is, especially since I think everyone thought they were going to get the win against Golden State last night because Golden State had lost 2 at home. They're still trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Whereas the Magic, this team is young, but they've gelled so well that they know how to play for each other that I think everyone thought, okay, we were so competitive in the game against Phoenix. Take what you learned from Phoenix, bring it to Golden State, get the job done. Come here, get the job done. So now it is kind of like a must win for both of our teams. And you mentioned Franz. He's had 7 of his last games have been in 20-plus points.
Yeah.
Paolo's been doing really well as well. Those are just the dynamic duo on this team. Along when Cole comes off the bench, he's been very good for the Magic as well. So it's one of those things where, you hate to see how much they are giving every single night and it's not, reciprocating how they want it.
Right.
But at the same time, they're still so young and they're growing. So I think it's all learning lessons for this team.
We understand that your team in some ways is going through this year what the Kings went through last year. And I know right now is a tough stretch of the schedule, but Sacramento hadn't been in the playoffs in so long. And the last year was a revelation when they broke through and people were having so much fun. Your team is very exciting this year. Are fans getting more energized than they've been in years? The fact that Orlando has tried something now with these young players and it's actually working and the team is really a competitive team that's fun to watch.
I think Mo Wagner said something that really has stuck with me. He said it a while ago too. He said, this has been a 3-year process.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we've literally battled and had to fight for the last 3 years together, trying to figure it out. So it's really good to see the fans rallying behind them too. You can tell that they are very committed to this team. They love what they have going on. They love what's happening with the Magic. This is the best start we've had in a long time as well.
Right.
And think about our November. We dominated in November. We beat Boston. We beat Denver. We beat the Lakers. Like, we've had really good spurts. We started off strong. I think that's what's really been helping this team is the strong start they have. They know what that winning tastes like. It's just a matter of sometimes you do have to go through that rut a little bit to just get to the other end and appreciate everything that you've put in.
We had Dante on a little earlier today, and he talked about the schedule as of late and how tough it's been. You guys 3-7 over the last 10 games. How would you gauge the mood of the team? Like you said, you're putting in that work, you're playing hard, but it's not resulting in wins. What's the psychology of the team right now?
I think the thing is, again, I think, I don't know if Mo is the one who like is just great with his words, but he kind of just says it himself too. Like, this team knows what it was like last year to have really bad games. When we faced you guys last year, we were 2-8 the first time we faced you guys. I mean, it's a 180 of a difference change. So with this team, yeah, the mood is down. They don't want to be in this position. They don't want to be where they're at, but I don't think it's a position where it's getting to them so badly where they feel like giving up, where they feel like we just can't figure it out. I think they just have to tweak little things here and there. We can't have 17 plus turnovers. We can't do that in a game if you want to win it. Like, we had 16 the other night, 17 this night, or 18. Like, you can't do that when you want to win games in this league. So I think it's just fixing the little things here and there and getting our shots up. And I think this team could turn it around quick.
I know that your team hasn't fared well. Second game of back-to-back, neither have the Kings. So that said, how discouraging was that? Because you guys had a chance to win last night against the Warriors, San Francisco. How discouraging was the fact that you couldn't pull that one out last night?
I think it hurt. I think it stung a little bit, especially when you saw that Gary Harris made that 3-point shot to tie the game going into the half. That gave you so much momentum coming in. But it's hard to stop Steph Curry. That guy.
We know. He dropped 50 on us in the playoff game here. Yeah.
You know, I think I asked Jesse Merriman coming out of the half, like, how do you slow him down? He's like, you just can't let him get to the three, you know? Like, he was in the beginning really just kind of getting all of his shots in the paint. And then finally he was getting to the three towards the end. And that's where he just exploded. And it was kind of the rest is history. So it did hurt. It stung a little bit because you really felt like that game was in their bag. Like I said, how competitive they were against the Phoenix Suns. You thought that this team was like going to come in for Golden State, take care of business, and then come here. So it stung a little bit.
You know, Paolo Banchero, reigning rookie of the year, #1 pick last year. We got a guy in Keegan Murray who was the #4 overall pick. And there's high expectations here in Sacramento for him. They want him to be an elite two-way player. What have you seen from Paolo in terms of expectations? Like, he's one of the faces of the league right now, Team USA. Like, how has he been able to make that jump? What is it that he has that, you know, young players can look at and say, you know what he's doing, I want to do that also?
I think you said it right there. He's making that jump. Steph Curry said it last night that him and Franz are taking that leap. They're making those adjustments to get to the place where they are going to be known for a while in history. I think it helped for him to be a part of the FIBA Men's World Cup because then he got to really experience and see how these guys really work out, how they train, how they compete on a different level. He got to work out with different coaches. I asked him about his time with KD because I remember they had built a relationship. He told me it started from Brooklyn, actually, when KD was with Brooklyn. And from there, he continued to have that connection with him. They worked out together in LA, and he said that he asked him about his work ethic, saw how serious he was in his drills. So when Paolo's around those types of guys who are doing things, will be, you know, MVP candidates one day, like you learn from that and you say, all right, cool, I want to take it to that level. This is what they do. This is what I need to do. And so I think you're just seeing that he's evolving and he's finding ways to find his shot a little bit. It's been cool. I will say it's been cool to see him find his shot and, you know, find what works for him. And you're just seeing that play out now in these games.
You know, Kendra, real quick, sorry to cut you off. What I'm hearing is he went out there and grabbed it. He took it, right?
Yeah.
He didn't wait for somebody to say, all right, now it's your turn. And that's what I want to see from Keegan, guys. I want him come out there and grab it. You're the #4 overall pick. If you shoot 20 times a game, ain't nobody going to say anything. De'Aaron Fox not going to yell at you. Mike Brown's. And so I want Keegan to go out there and take it. And that's what I'm seeing from Paolo.
Yeah, I think you are. You're seeing him take what he wants. He knows what it's going to take to be at that level. So he's not going to just sit there and wait and hope it comes to him with this team. He's going to sit out there. He's going to go figure it out, come back and see how to bring it to be a part of this team. And I think that's what really has set him apart too is, yes, you know that he is he's going to be a big star, but he's not doing it in a selfish way. He's doing it in a way that I'm going to take what I learned and hopefully help this team out. And that's why I think it's fun to watch this team as well, because they stress so much about playing for each other and not just trying to win games and go out there. So you can see they're playing for each other. Even when they're getting down, you don't see the arguments of what's going on and pointing the finger. It's very much, we got to come together I think that's just what sets them apart from other teams.
Kendra Andrews with us from Orlando Magic TV, sideline reporter. I get to work with Kyle Draper every day, so obviously I learned so much, and I understand he's something of a mentor to you. Is there one thing that you've learned, maybe more important than anything else, that you've learned from the great Kyle Draper, for better or worse? I think our listeners would love to hear.
Just continue to be good at what you do. I don't know. I think this one, he helped me get my start in this business. Like, he really did. He opened the door for me, and this is where I'm at now.
He's mentioned that a time or two today.
Right. I'm like, yeah, will she show up? Hopefully, no.
No, he has. He really did help me get my way into this. And I think because of him, I wouldn't have so much, I guess, I wouldn't believe in myself so much too. Like, you believe in yourself, but when you have someone like him in your corner too, it makes you really want to continue to be great at what and continue to go after your goals. So yeah, he's helped me a lot.
Good.
He's helped me get to where I'm at right now. I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Yeah. All right.
Kendra, appreciate it. I will say, the walk down the steps much easier than the walk up the steps, so I appreciate you coming on.
I just hate that everyone here got to see me struggle, just had to take a deep
breath.
Right?
And I'm like, you're too young for that,
Okay, but I'm exhausted. Like I said, we got in last night super late, and I woke up and I was like, we have a game today?
It was a little steep.
So,
it is a little steep.
Yeah, I'll get down there safely. I heard there's cookies in the back. So
Hold up. You got to settle a debate. We've had this debate. Chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin?
Oatmeal raisin.
Bam. See? That's why she's my girl right there. It's a wrap.
It must be East Coast thing.
Mess it up. You can't mess up an oatmeal raisin cookie. You just can't. But
you better
chip,
get in there, because the oatmeal raisin goes quick.
Does it?
So, yeah.
I know. I saw Dante and JT down here eating them, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They snacked without me.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was great.
Yeah. Very nice to meet you.
All right, Douglas. Yes.
All right, I'm going to make my step back.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys for the game.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll be down there shortly. All right, Kendra. Thank you.
We will take a very quick timeout. Be back here with what we can expect from the Kings against the Orlando Magic tonight. Next from the Golden One Center, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Holidays at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Obviously, days like today can be tough for Kings fans.
Yes.
Your faith is, I mentioned earlier, like, I don't know what to believe in as far as this team anymore. I'm behind them. I'm interested. I'm watching every game, but I don't know what to believe anymore. So that is what leads to some of the unusual tweets and comments. Kyle Draper, Whitey Gleason. Carmichael Dave retweeted somebody today. This is about the most extreme one I've seen today. And I forget who it was, but they tweeted, The De'Aaron Fox experiment is over. It's time to trade him. So
somebody really said that?
Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Some of the asinine things that are being said on social media. Guys need to, people need to be outed for takes like this. Man.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We got game night coming up in just a few moments, but first we go to Chris on Sactown Sports. Hello, Chris. What's up?
Hey, man, what's up? This is Chris. Man, all I'm going to say is whoever said that's stupid. Anyway, all I'm going to say is, man, I'm on my way to the game right now, but all I'm going to say is people need to, as Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX. Relax. They just need their positivity back. They'll get their groove back. Once they get their swagger back, we're going to be all right. Don't make any big trades. Take it easy. I'm the one that said don't trade Keegan Murray. You can't trade Keegan Murray yesterday. Just relax. We're going to be all right. Stay positive. We're good.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I'm working on it. I'll tell
That's
you
what I'm saying. It's okay.
I'm working on it.
That's just what I tried to tell you yesterday.
Then how
take it easy?
Do we know that what happened last night is not going to happen again? All right. Take it easy. Okay. How do I know it's not going to happen again?
You don't. And I guarantee
Then how am I supposed to take it easy?
Whitey, I guarantee you it will happen again at some point this season.
What happened last night?
Yes.
Oof.
It happened last year and you were okay with it. Kings fans were okay. We were good. 48 wins. Whoop-de-doo. Woo.
You can cherry pick and say they
Don't
had a
do
bad
that
loss
to me,
here
High
there.
Flyer.
Yeah.
Don't do that. High Flyer just show up behind us.
They did that last year. Sure, you can cherry pick bad losses here or there, but the series of bad losses, Henry, that didn't happen last year.
Come on, High Flyer. I know you.
What this team is going through right now, that didn't happen last year. Where you have in the space of a week, you have two
Charlotte, Washington,
embarrassing losses to bad teams that are shorthanded. That did not happen last year. Here's Henry Turner.
It happened a couple of times. It did. It was another team. I mean, we was talking about on the air the other day. It was another team that came in here, and I remember specifically because I said, I can't believe we lost to their third string. Think about it.
Remember, Philly came in here, no Harden, no Embiid. They beat us also.
Hey, Portland did it to us.
Yep.
Portland did it to us. Philly came in and did it, and it was another squad that came in here.
Washington won here.
Washington last year, yes.
Yes, that came in with, and when that game started off, I said, I'm like, this is the biggest trap game that we have played so far.
Last night, this game?
What? Yes, because you know why?
Why?
We had just played a hell of a game against Memphis. Hell of a game. And you come back and you play in a team that basically had 69 points sitting at the end of the bench, wasn't at their disposal, right? You're on your home floor. You've been playing very good here. Been dominant at G1, doing what you need to take care of. I said at the end of the first quarter, I said, if Charlotte is tied with the Sacramento Kings, it's over.
Really?
It's over.
You felt that.
And the reason why? I don't care who you're playing, KD, whether you're playing Portland, Washington, Charlotte. You can play Detroit right now. You let those guys get some confidence and they see that they can score.
Yep.
You in for a dogfight. And it was a dogfight the whole night. The last 2 minutes, the Kings imploded.
Yep. The last 44 seconds are the worst 44 seconds of Sacramento Kings basketball I've ever seen.
But the last 2 minutes, they just fell apart. I'm talking offensively, defensively.
Yeah.
We took a bad shot. We come down, we turn the basketball over. They come down and hit a bucket. We come down, get backdoored.
Yep. Give up a dunk. Turn it over.
And then we turn it over right after that.
Yeah.
We have never seen that with this basketball team.
Let me ask you this, High Flyer, because everybody's an expert now. Social media, sports talk radio, caller, everybody's an expert.
Right.
We know the problems. We know the issues. Give me some solutions. How do we fix this?
First of all, number one, consistency. Besides Sabonis, besides De'Aaron, and you can sprinkle Malik Monk in there. Besides those three, we're talking, you got three other guys on your starting five that really haven't been consistent this year. They was pretty much consistent last year. You knew pretty much what you were getting out of her. Right. Keegan Murray, you knew what you were getting out of him. Old man Harrison Barnes, he was hanging on.
He had a good year last year and hurt it too. They were solid.
You knew what you were getting out of those guys.
Yeah.
Right now, Mike Brown has almost went back to square one, hunting, trying to find some consistency to put into the starting five.
Yeah, those guys were very good last year, so they've fallen off, and that happens. But then you're still looking for, all right, where does the improvement come from? Fox is a little better, Keegan's a little better, but still, obviously, searching for answers. Now, when you say consistency, which a lot of people are looking for, it's a chicken or the egg thing, right? Mike Brown is not putting out a consistent rotation because guys aren't playing well.
Right.
Guys will say, I can't play well because I don't know when I'm going to play.
Well, Waddy, I will say this. You know, this goes back to my theme of consistency. Think about this right now. If Kevin Huerter was averaging 16 points, if Harrison Barnes was averaging 16, we wouldn't even be having this conversation of, oh my God, how can we better this basketball?
I agree.
You wouldn't even have the conversation of what type of moves we need to make this team better, because their defense is what it is. It is what it is. You know, you could talk about it needs to be better. No, that's not what moves this basketball team. What moves this basketball team is how well they shoot that three-point shot. If they can consistently knock down those three-point shots, we ain't talking about nothing else but let's win. Let's outscore.
And to that point, you know, we could talk about Mike Brown's rotations and everything like that, but the guys who have gotten the minutes aren't being consistent. You mentioned Keegan, Huerter, and HB. These guys are in your starting lineup. They're not, you know.
That's three of your starting five that haven't been consistent.
You don't know what you're going to get.
And you lose the game. That Portland game, KD, was the telltale sign. Sabonis played great. De'Aaron
on the offensive end, high flyer.
That's all we talking about, bro. We ain't talking about the defensive side. That's all we're talking about all here with this team. You know, they both played great. No one else showed up. They couldn't win the game. If the other three show up, we still ain't talking about defense, but they win.
Why are we so angry this year, though? Why are we? And I understand expectations.
Yes.
We're fifth in the West. We're okay. We're good.
You can't be fifth in the West if you keep playing like last night, though.
I told you. Me and you argued about this while he was gone. I said, I'm fine if they drop even all the way down to 6. I said, long as they make it into the playoffs. That's what
so we good then, right?
We good, yes.
Okay.
Look, believe me, I'm not jumping off the roof. I understand. It's going to be nights like this. But I will say this. The way they play is going to win some games. You're going to win games the way they play. But I tell you what, playoff time, we're going to have a whole different conversation. Because you know what? For one, defense wins playoff games. And if you don't have defense, you better have a whole lot of talent.
Henry, I should know this. I don't. Were you a good free throw shooter?
You know, back when I played, all guards had to shoot 80% or better. If you didn't leave the arena. I don't care what time it was. After a game, you didn't leave the arena till you made 100 free throws.
Why can't this team's a good three-point shooting team. Why can't they make free throws?
Free throw shooting is one thing and one thing only.
What?
Concentration. Concentration. That's it. Think about it, KD. We've been shooting free throws, man, since we've been 5 years old. Grabbing the ball, going to that line. Your free throw stroke hasn't changed at all. You should, as a professional, you should be able to go to that free throw line, take 5 shots with your eyes closed, and make 3.
Dang.
Because it's the same lineup, it's the same shot. It's all about your concentration. You get to that, you get to your spot on that free throw line, you can close your eyes and make 3.
So what's the problem with our guys then?
Concentration. They're not concentrating going to the line.
Sabonis 65%, Fox 71%. What's the number? Is it 80? That's where we need to be at minimum.
All guards need to be shooting, especially if you're starting like Fox. You know, it's imperative you need to be shooting real close to 80%. Big fellas, you can shoot 75 and get away with it.
So you said this yesterday. As far as the defense goes, as far as you're concerned, I think you said it is what it is. You'd like for it to get better, but you can't really assume that it will be. It's all about being more consistent offensively, right? To you, that's the key.
Yep.
As we look for keys to this team being more consistent.
You're going to win games that way, but when it comes down to making that next step in the playoffs, we're going to have a different conversation.
See, I think as long as they're bad defensively, they're going to be prone to those. They're playing well, and then they have those nights like last night. It's like, what was that?
Yeah, when you don't shoot the ball well. When you don't shoot the ball well, it's going to be a travesty.
Right.
Because that's what you live and die with.
You looking forward to tonight, Orlando? Just as a fan, seeing the Orlando Magic?
the Orlando Magic's a good basketball.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
They are a good club. You can't slip on Orlando. Orlando played good basketball last year at the end until they pulled the plug.
They had some moments, yeah.
So
yeah.
now they got their guys back. They got some guys back off of injury. And I'm going to tell you what, Banchero's a man. He is a man. He is a man. So don't look at them. This team coming in and saying, "Oh well, this should be a win." No.
After we learned our lesson after last night.
You're not good enough to walk in this arena and say, "You know what? Just because we're good, we're going to win."
I think I would say that Friday though, and I know Toronto's got Barrett now, but I think they should win Friday. But one game at a time.
One game at a time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, you know what? And I've been guilty of doing this too, because usually I'm a one game at a time guy.
Yeah.
But I have been guilty of saying, okay, I'm gonna take chunks. I'm gonna take stretches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like our last road trip. You know what? Come out of there 2-1. You're good.
Good.
Yeah.
You're good.
What about this 4-game homestand, real quick here?
4-game homes.
3-1.
3-1.
All right.
Okay.
Kyle Draper tonight, NBC Sports California play-by-play. Stick around for the high flyer. He and Scott Marsh have game night for you next, right here from the Gold One Center on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line.